Oh shit!
Careful.
Shit, where'd I put it? Oh, that's
You
fine.
should have got on an hour ago, so we could have actually.
I know we needed more time to
Needed a little more time, yeah. But then again, I just found this map here, so got lucky.
Oh, we started this.
Yeah, we're started. We're here. You want to do the intro?
Oh, my intro. Am I doing the introduction?
Does the recording work? You can hear the
I
audio.
thought you were doing. I mean, I could.
Yeah,
I could do a little intro. I mean,
that's fine.
You just actually place the camera properly. There we go.
Do we have all the developers in? Is everyone
in? Scott's not here, and I think Scott needs to be here for one of the questions.
Man, Madge, what would Scott think of us right now?
You could show up later.
That's fine.
What am I watching right now?
The Q&A.
You're watching the strongest ZS developers.
Val system was a literal fucking mistake. I should have never added that.
Look.
I thought Poofla would be in a big ghoul model.
This is it. This is your fault. You created this. No,
it's my model.
Okay, it's settled, guys. I'm reverting the Val update entirely.
No, you can't do that.
Everyone. I'm refunding everyone. I'm fucking refunding everyone.
It's too late. No, you can't.
Pitan, you let the genie out of the bottle. The genie has been released.
Look, you increased developer unity.
Yes. We're very unified.
Is that what we're calling it now? Is that what we're calling it now?
Yeah. We're really unified right now. We stand together. Or sit together.
So now, my question is, how should we start off? What should we?
I'll start. Welcome everyone to the Valentines 2024 Q&A for Sunrust. We will be going through some topics for mains. Yes. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Previously, every other Q&A, it's just been about main zombie survival. This time around, we've got a few more developers, so we have a few extra projects. So the main course of the Q&A is still going to be about main ZS, but we're going to have a little section just talking about classic ZS, plans for that and everything. I think P-Town and Xerxes have also been working on some game modes, so I'm sure they'll have a roadmap or some things to discuss about that.
We have plans.
Yes. Okay. So the main points for zombie survival main. Let's start with that. Drew, you want to go through your roadmap?
Yeah.
Or talk about current things, what's been going on since December, since I left main.
So as you all probably know, I mean I've been a little busy with life. I had a lot of life events happen. Good stuff, not bad stuff. But, it's been kind of hard for me to work on the game mode as consistently as I used to. I'm not just in my basement 24/7 programming the game mode. I don't even have a basement anymore. And work's gotten more intense. So I've been trying to do what I can. And, my to-do list is very long. But, we had a bit of a shake-up with our organizational structure with the whole lead dev thing. I think that's a net positive for us because it's easier. We don't have to play reaction as much. We can actually plan things out and, adjust things before they make it into the game. Now, there still has been problems. We're still working it out. But in theory, I think that's a really good theory, and it prevents a lot of need for fighting and bickering and all that stuff and revert wars, because we all love those. Yes, but in terms of where the game mode is going long term, what are our plans for the future? I think there's been a lot of things that have been suggested that people like. There's been a lot of discussion about what's the place of the dark market now. What do we do about things like the demi-boss bar? Some people want that back. So right now, I think it's kind of up in the air what our really long term goal is, and I'm going to discuss a lot of ways that we could go, a lot of things that we could do. But it really depends on the feedback from, I think, everybody, really. Because, especially with things as complicated as the dark market, there's a lot of people that really like it, and there's a lot of people that really, defend everything about it, and there's a lot of people that also really hate it, and they like to go back to and go in it and commit to it. And for lack of a better term, have the vision. So, what's the vision these days? Still kind of figuring that out, I feel. But so that's my introduction. I mean, I don't want to talk about like the really specific things yet. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Also,
So
you might want to unmute yourself in game so like your mouth moves.
Oh, what do you mean? Oh, you mean talk without enabled?
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Ah, I see. Okay. Christ. Wait, what am I talking about now?
And we could go blow by blow into like every developer and like what their plans are and what they want to
Yeah.
talk
Okay.
about.
So let's start with, I guess, what the other developers are working on for ZS. Anyone else? Anyone got any like future plans, things you want to discuss about?
Yeah, I know Kev, you had some stuff going on.
I mean, yeah, I've been really busy. Similarly to you, like you have work, I have college. I'm in my senior year of my degree, and I've been having a lot of courses that basically make me stay until like 7 p.m. at school. But I've been trying to work on some balanced stuff more related to the zombies. I still need to really complete the ability cooldowns because some of the zombies, like especially the demi bosses, have been I seen a little overtuned due to the ability upgrade. We saw what happened with the floating poison zombie. I forgot what's the name of it.
Fetid
Fetid
Maw.
Maw.
Fetid Maw, yeah. The cooldowns were really messed up, and you could basically spam it, and it was a taperless mess. And I've seen clips where people got like 900 damage per second just because it was taperless. So thank God we dealt with that. I kind of want to look into the melee knockback because I know that melee knockback mixed with like a few bosses, I might need to add a scaling to that because I saw that Tickle Monster and Shit Slapper have been basically using it a lot, and it's been shredding a lot of players with its melee knockback. That's what I've been considering. I've also been considering looking more into specifics to the dark market and trying to balance it out and also remove stuff. And I've been seeing that Drew and I have discussed about the knockbacks related to melee. And now that we have nerfed the melee knockback to have taper, I was thinking of just removing the unabated upgrade because it seems like if we're going to nerf the knockback, we should also remove the upgrades that reduce the melee knockback resistance. And I feel like we could better implement some balances through there. But yeah, that's all I have said. But yeah, I've been just focusing on zombie balances and a few human balances as well.
So a lot of decreeping of zombies, removing these extra mechanics. So from the dark market, as most of you may be aware, we've got a bunch of those passive upgrades that I added. At the time, a lot of the dark market stuff was just experimental, seeing what cool things could we do, and less focus on if they're actually healthy for the game. And we've all come to a conclusion now that most of those passive upgrades, only a fraction of the zombie players actually make use of them, and that that leads to some certain steamrolling problems from certain players that know how to abuse those. So stripping all of those boring passive upgrades out, I don't think we need to do any compensation. Bosses, they already have increased resistances, all of that. So just remove that extra power and just make sure that go back to just baseline zombies being good, fun, and fair without all this extra stuff that you need to buy. And that, I think that was the wrong direction. So just accepting that it wasn't a very good it didn't work out well, accepting it and just backtracking.
Goodness
And,
knows better
keeping
myself.
some of the sorry, go on.
I was going to mention that some of the stuff that we have implemented, giving it to the bosses itself as a passive, like I think you've noticed I've given bosses like already status resistance, which I think we need to still look into. And because it's done by chance, so it's like a chance that the debuff is not inflicted. But I
Yeah.
think Drew has mentioned that he wants it to be more of it reduces the damage rather than having it based on chance.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
so reducing round attachment damage reduces the chance that it will proc something, and if it does proc something, it'll make it less effective. So that's essentially what I would like to do. The only thing that this doesn't work on is all the weapons in the game that mandatorily, like, or that have a mandatory status that they apply. I've been going through these, and if I see one, I usually try to replace it with rounds. In certain cases, it doesn't really work out. So I do have an idea for a distinction perhaps between statuses that are manually applied and that are applied through rounds, but we'll see. We'll see. I think that's the way to go. And then for things that are applied through rounds, we just do the damage penalty. But for things that are mandatory, then we apply either a duration penalty or a duration penalty and a chance. So that's what I'm thinking, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to probably address, I think, a bigger elephant in the room, I think there's been a lot of concerns that people have saying that in the last 2 months, like after Christmas, that people feel like there's been a lack of new content and more focus on just removing stuff. And I think what it is, the devs are just trying to go through all the current stuff, a lot of fixes. Reox has been doing a lot of weapon fixes, balancing. Turns out that there was quite a lot of, problems that I guess just appeared at the start of the year.
Yeah.
And, I think we were just going through a stabilization period first before looking at adding more content. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like I tell people, I'm just trying to keep the lights on at this point. It's like I feel I have like a to-do list of things, and I mean I did some new stuff. Like I added the Nidus attacks back, and I added a new attack for it. That's kind of content, but I did reduce the damage resistances, which I probably shouldn't have done since the health was reduced. But like I am working on things in the background. It's just not like huge systems. Like I'm not working on anything as big as like the bounty update. But I like to rebalance weapons and work on things that are already there. Unless I have like a really strong concept, like I had with fishing and contraband. But what's better to work on? Something that players are constantly messaging me about, or some new fun thing that it's cool to have. A new gun is always fun to mess around with, but man, it does kind of suck that zombies are getting propelled away from the Cade at like 500 hammer units per second, and it's like, what affects the game more at that point? And those are the things that I'm trying to work on now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's sort of everything that's been going on. Have we talked about roadmaps then? Like any plans for the future, or is
I
just a bit more
currently
general, I guess?
I mean,
Well-
I have a few stuff that I want to work on in the future, but I'm gonna just leave it in the discussions as between developers, because the problem is it's like we say that we're gonna do something and then we turns out like, oh, we shouldn't do that, like in the dev chat. So I
Yeah.
People
don't
just
want to
get
confirm
distracted
anything.
a lot of the time. There's
I
always
get
things.
distracted. That's why I made a to-do list. That's why I have a Trello now. It's like the Trello is like all of the things that I know I need to do, and I try to list them out and write notes on them when I can. But
I have a Word document that I have a list of stuff more specific. I have like high priorities, more focused on the balancing of zombies, and then lower priorities of adding new content, because I feel like fixes are more important right now.
yeah,
Yeah, so KevDo's been, I guess, more focused on zombie content. Reox, weapon balancing and fixing just general mechanics like that. And I guess Drew's doing the same. So they're
yeah,
probably all over the place.
I do
Constantly.
both right now.
I've been wanting to do a lot of like
Models.
medic stuff, but I've been busy with the other stuff that we'll be getting to later on in the Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we could probably talk about like health, blood armor in general, because there's been a few changes about that. That's probably another big one, isn't it?
Mm.
Yes, I'll probably chime in then.
So, what I did, one of the final things I did, I think it was the start of January, is I started to add a ton of stat tracking to the game. As in, I know exactly how much health has been healed every wave, how much, damage been mitigated by blood armor, any like healing weapons, everything has been like properly tracked now, and we can look at that and see. Oh, wave one, 8,000 damage was nullified because of blood armor. Okay, and like 16,000 or something insane has been generated from the leech. Is that a good thing? Yeah, I don't think it is. We came to a conclusion. So, putting all that stuff, try to control it all now with actual stats instead of just speculating or, looking at round to round or seeing, videos of people doing insane stuff where they don't die from like 5, 6 wraith hits. We actually have stats now, loads of stats, and we can say, all right, these numbers are too high or these numbers are too low. So it's just a nice new tool that we can now use going forward. And yeah, I think Xerxes can take it away now, with all the healing. I'm sure he's got some healing planned.
Yep, I do. Because I wanted to make sure that, like, with healing, because obviously we don't want healing to be too strong. Because I mean, I know with things like the Asclepius, yeah, definitely that's been agreed that it heals too much. And with some of those things that heal too much, maybe moving them to more utility, giving things like agility, strength, or defense, things like that, where it's less like flat healing and more utility. And that was the idea that I was having with that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Also, I am a touch divided in my attention right now because I'm trying to fix up some stuff. So sorry about that.
That's fine.
Yeah, to add to something that Pooflet said about the stats, I mean, stats aren't perfect, right? You can't make decisions entirely off of stats, but they do give us an insight when people say things like, "Oh, healing is too strong," and it's like, well, blood armor is mitigating like way more damage than anything that's being healed. Like the amount of damage that blood armor is mitigating is like 4 times the amount that's being healed throughout the round. So even if we fix the medic issue, that's only like,
Yeah.
that's only a part of the problem. So, and this is just an example. I'm not saying that's not a real quote. It's not a real quote. Don't take that for reality. I'm just saying, like, for example. So then it's like, okay, well, let's look at blood armor. And then, we create some test cases. We think about it a bit. It's not just like healing from food's too strong, nerf it. I know last Fireside was kind of it was a bit of a mess, honestly, if I'm going to be real. But, I was trying to show off that, like, yes, we have stats and we can completely discard certain discussions because they're not reflected by reality. We're not acting on hunches. There's stats, we can look at those and we're good. So yeah.
I remember the fireside chat we discussed last time. I remember discussing about giving a little more power to the normals and less power to the bosses and demis.
Yeah, well, overarching that's what I would like to do.
Yeah. I
yeah.
noticed like one of the changes I did, giving innate acid clause to Goal. Seemed like people are now playing Goal more often. I've been trying to look into like specific zombies like Fresh Dead, more like Elder Ghoul, kind of like more zombies that haven't been played and felt like useless. And I didn't want to overtune them. I didn't want to like say, oh, let's just increase the poison damage and we're done. I don't want to like try to balance them by giving them more damage. I want to give them more of like gimmicks to them to make them more interesting and make people be more decisive or more thinking while they play their zombies. Like I know I added something to Goal where movement can affect the projectile velocity.
I don't think people like that one though.
Not
Really?
many people. Really?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot
sure?
of good feedback related to it.
The
Maybe
only
that was
problem
just
they
it
had with it
screwed up
was
the
the
bots.
bots.
The bots.
Yeah, no, I
yes.
fixed the bots. Don't worry.
Mhm.
They just don't do that anymore. They use the old behavior for Ghoul. They don't use any of the movement based stuff because then we need to tweak the way that they move, and that's whole can of worms. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any other topics? It's a bit harder for me because I don't have a big list in front of me, unfortunately. So I
I
can't
could.
see.
Oh, you can go, P10.
Well, regarding about classic with Buffalo and I, which I'm also working on that game mode as
Yeah,
well.
we can discuss classic. I think a tiny little bit.
All right. Okay, for classic, the main goal for classic is to keep the old school feel of the game mode, which is 2013 goal. However, we will have to eventually deviate from that year era and just go on for the 2014 2015 era instead. We do want to add more weapons, that's for sure. We're still planning on basic ideas because the goal is to keep it as simple as possible with the process of jet boom balancing in quotation marks the weapons. I mean, I'm not trying to say that literally, but still, the idea is to keep it like how jet boom would have won this game mode. There are sometimes that jet boom does some updates that are completely fucking questionable, and I wouldn't really like them. I wouldn't really like them to have it in the game mode. So, but the main goal is to keep it as much as classic as possible and to have it as simple as possible. Because right now, CS Classic server runs at 66 tick. I'm pretty sure, and it uses the current main CS hitboxes except Wraith, which is still using the old model, and Fasties, which is also using the NPC model as well. Controllable man hacks in 2013. Oh my god. Yeah, that's.
I don't think we need to recreate the box era drones.
Yeah.
No.
Controllable man hacks. Not only they were laggy as hell because it was 33 tick on Nox. It was pretty griefy as well. You could really grief with that tool pretty bad. Both zombies and human team. But yeah, the server runs at 66 tick. We want to keep it that way. We want to keep it very simple. It is optimized with current HST's module, which is why it runs extremely smooth and everything is very responsive. However, there has been issues with supposedly hitbox related problems with animations not being synced up well and probably some hit detection issues. I'm not sure if that's a 66 tick issue, but the weapons do account for that tick rate because there is a modifier for that internally. I'm not sure if me changing that caused some issues or if there's something weird with the module running at 66 tick, but that's something between HC and I that we have to figure out in the end. Anything else you want to add, Pooflet?
So, for Classic, when we first hosted it, it had a bunch of bugs and stuff, and we've been spending time fixing all that. But the other thing is, if an old zombie survival server is to even last, it needs all the modern day quality of life stuff, and it needs to play well at low pop because realistically, most of the time it's probably going to be a low pop. That's just how it is, or empty even. So my focus was, as soon as the server came out, was to get as much quality of life stuff in. P-Town did a great job of porting over the main base over to it, so we have all the options, everything. So under the hood, it is essentially just main ZS, but all the other stuff is just not there.
Yeah,
so it's still classic on the front.
Yeah.
And then, adding a few extra quality of life things like flesh creepers, dynamic nests, those things were never part of Classic, but they're so important to the game that it would be a detriment not to have them. So, we're not sticking strictly to this, it needs to be OG in that, because realistically, it's just going to die. You need, modern quality of life changes. You need new content. And we're at a point now where we can start looking at adding new content. So I did a tiny update a while ago to just bring in, a new weapon or two. We've got plans to add some new weapons. And the important thing is anything that we add, it should try to be unique and not just a direct copy paste from main either. So we need to think about that. But I think I'd like to, this month, at least do a first proper content update, get some new weapons. I want to add 2 new melee weapons, maybe a new gun. But again, it's a bit more tricky because we have to be very careful in respecting the old feel and making sure it just, it makes sense. We're not going to add any crazy AoE weapons. We need to avoid certain things, but that's the next step for a classic, really. And I know that it's never going to, I don't think it'll ever be super popular. I'm just being realistic about it. I think it's important that we just enjoy working on it. And I spend a lot of time making the human bots. I think for the most part, they do their job. I frequently see some people just join the server and they can still have a decent time with, we got like 12 bots or something. And these are human bots that I'm talking about. So they can barricade, they can heal, they can support you, they can buy guns. They do everything a human can. In some cases, they're probably better than some players. Looking at the scoreboard, sometimes, they're top scoring. So I'm happy with that. And that was one of those things that you need to have the game be fun at low pop or 0 pop. But I think that summarizes it really for the classic ZS stuff. I know maybe P-Town wants to talk about the other thing. He's got an event planned is it this weekend maybe? For a special game mode?
It's right after this. It's happening right after this.
Do you guys want to discuss about it then? Just tell us about it.
Well, before we discuss the PvP Battle Reloaded event, I did want to add something about CS Classic. I almost forgot what it was about. Oh yeah, the human bots. The human bots, well, they do help, but we have to carefully look at them because they can be sometimes suicidal for some unexpected reason. I'm not sure if it's because they're trying to switch from a weapon to melee and they're just chasing the zombies into the sea gas, but we have to be sure about that. Sometimes they love to go out of the cave, but I'm pretty sure you did adjust for that.
Yeah, they're supposed to, as soon as they get hit by Z-gas, they're supposed to retreat or run away. But there might still be a rare case or two where something in their AI is not working as intended. But those just have to be fixed on a case-by-case basis. But every bot update, they have been getting smarter, and their lifespan has increased. They can survive longer than Wave 1 usually.
Yeah, and sometimes we have to make sure that the AI is being properly set to them because sometimes they can do one action then immediately do a different action compared to the first action that they were supposed to do in the first place. Sometimes it's regarding when they're buying a weapon, or sometimes it's regarding when they're cading because they can sometimes forget what they're doing.
Yeah, just trial and error. They'll get better over time, pretty much.
It is a massive undertaking to make bots that like zombie bots. They all basically do the same thing. Yeah, they use their attacks at different times, but their core goals are to get to humans, get in range to deal damage, and then use their abilities, use their attacks to sort of redesign that to be more than just to redesign the whole pathfinding and decision making to be more than just run at enemy, attack. It's a lot of work. I'm surprised that you guys have gotten as far as you have. It's great.
They are zombie bots, so it's like, how do you teach a human bot not to run at a human? Is basically the first thing. It just go from there. They really want to hug zombies, but I think they do a good job not doing that.
And then there's also like the Z-gas thing is interesting. There might be a couple of ways around that because they kind of need to know because every nav mesh I've heard on Classic, there's been not great things about the nav meshes. So you kind of need to make a secondary system to say this zone is bad. You don't want to go here, even if there's a node in there, or even if there's an enemy target in there, and you have a weapon. So I'm not really sure how you would handle that. You might have to make a secondary system for that, but yeah.
Oh yeah, there's also the fact that some zombies, the main zombie AI was also ported to classic. So
Mhm.
all if the zombie AI for main is acting the same as classic, it's literally the exact same code. The only difference is that wraiths are apparently wraiths are more are more deadlier in classic than in main.
Oh
For
yeah, they
some
are. Hell
reason.
yeah, they are. What do you mean for
They're-
That's
some reason? They're the old
fine.
wraith.
Oh
well,
yes.
yeah, I don't know what happened. I guess I adjusted a few more distance values and something like that, and they're all the classic rates are extremely jump scare. Like they can literally just jump scare at any second. For
Yeah,
some
P-Town, do you remember the old wraiths? I mean, they were terrifying. I
And
remember
now,
when wraiths spawned, they were like a huge deal.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I
I'm
like to
looking
Hold
at
on, hold on,
mention.
Drew. I need to get my drink. Hold on.
Okay.
I mean,
But yeah.
Pizza. I like to mention that the mapping contest that we held on Classic. I mean, it did
Damn
go
it.
well. There was a few
Yeah.
drawbacks, but I
Yeah.
know that you mentioned that it was a huge, deep understanding to relation to how the game should be balanced and high pop. It was a true stress test moment, trying out these maps and seeing a bunch of players
God damn
enjoy
it.
the classic. I mean,
Yeah.
do you want to mention anything related to the map contest and what you learned from that high pop moment?
Yes. Health scaling in that case. It's gonna be harsh because health scaling is something that Scott wanted me to touch on for classic, and I do agree about it. But the problem is that health scaling in classic for low pop is gonna be harsh in that regard because we don't want zombies to suddenly gain main levels of health when there is basically no AoE weapons because we don't want to do AoE weapons except the grenade and dead pack. Those are the only two tools or weapons that they should do AoE in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But for the health scaling, I do want to implement a more high pop health scaling in a sense because the zombies do have damage resistance up to 25% if they're all stacked up together. This is regardless of wave, 25% is the max resistant value that zombies can have.
Do they really need health though? More health?
Well, only for extreme high pop purposes. At least 50% of their HP if the zombie count is half of the human team, basically. If it's 50%, then it becomes normal HP.
What's high pop?
Is that a binary thing?
Oh. High pop would be basically about, and for classic, it would be about more than 68 players in essence. Because back then, Notch's Net ran CS at 64 players at best, probably even 58. But then it got increased to 68, 72, I guess 78, well, 81? I think 81 was the max, right? For Nox CS. If anyone remembers.
Yeah, 81, 82, somewhere around there.
Really?
Okay,
I
so
thought it was like 60.
Oh, actually, yeah, maybe it was.
No,
60.
initially it was
2013.
60. Yeah, initially it was 60, 64. Then JetBoom upgraded, quotation marks upgraded, the servers to, support more players, and it got up to 80. And it still didn't have health scaling back then. So I'm pretty sure JetBoom just started nerfing weapons overall later on and stuff like that. He just started doing very crazy questionable bans at that point, especially with his other game modes like RTP and Awesome Strike Source, which rest in peace, by the way.
We should bring Ass back.
We can bring Az back. Well, Scott wants it to be before JetBoom started fucking up the game mode, essentially.
I have the repo. I could figure it out maybe.
Okay, then we can. Another project added to the list.
Yeah, that's another thing I didn't like to do. That's great.
Another project added to the list.
Almost spoke too soon. Whoops.
What were you saying about Xerxes?
To clarify for the chat, Awesome Strike Source. It's ASS. That's the joke.
Ass.
Don't-
It's ass. It's literally ass.
Great ass.
There's a lot of questions that people are asking, by the way. So
Oh yeah,
About
we got to get into
CS?
the Q&A thing. Yeah, geez, we.
I
How much time?
Right, we were going to talk about PvP.
PvP
Reloading.
battle.
Oh yeah,
Well,
PvP.
well, I want to keep this simple and
Short and sweet.
short and sweet.
Short and
PvP
sweet.
PvP battle Reloaded is basically the original PvP battle, just that we've done internal changes with it, logistically, and
We've spruced it up a lot. We've brought it up to date.
Yeah.
We've made it a lot cleaner, a lot more responsive. It's gonna be good.
But yeah, the problem with the game mode is that it used GMT tower as a base. We'll remove that base entirely off from the game mode. We've also done it as well for Virus, which means we're going to have eventually a Virus game mode event in later of the next month.
It's in
Way later.
in progress.
In progress. Everything about that is in progress. Regarding the game modes that are from Gmod Tower, I don't know. I'm still planning if I want to publicly release them or not, because the game mode was actually leaked, and the code regarding the game modes are in extremely bad shape. And when I mean bad shape, I do mean that they were not updated for like more than 10 plus years. It still uses a Windows 32-bit module, which barely fucking works now, because now Gmod supports network variables now.
Yep.
Well, not now, but internally back then it supported them, but then Asui Slate, the maker of the module, decided to make it work for Gmod 13 because Magdy Guy never wanted to update game mode ever since. So yeah,
you had to have a workaround for it.
Yeah, so we did really work hard on PvP battle, really hard. We do plan to have this game mode running late at night, or I mean in 1 or 2 hours, but right after this Q&A is finished. So be wary for the event, basically. Because we're actually going to open up the servers shortly after.
I actually had a question to ask our beautiful viewers here. Am I allowed to ask?
I don't know. It depends.
What?
It's regarding ZS.
Sure.
Should I just shut down H3H because I stopped working on it and no one plays it? So like,
that is up to you.
Should I just kill it?
A lot of people. I mean, CJ, if you want me to be brutally honest, like Pooflet mentioned, like,
whoa,
it's
no.
Huh?
I'm saying
putting words in people's mouths, putting words in people's mouths.
No. Like Pooflet expected like Classic to have low pop, and I'm saying you should expect HVH constantly struggling with the pop. It's not going to reach main pop. I'm just going to mention that to you, CJ.
I'm not talking about main pop. I'm talking about a player, just anytime. But so should I A, turn it back to light, B, keep it up, or C, just shut it down? Shut it down. D, Z even. Okay, I'll force Z on main then. We'll do that.
Okay. Well, I mean, CJ, it is kind of your own server. That's kind of a unique opportunity, and there's a lot you could do with that. You know, you could really just make your version of ZS that you want, and people be damned if they want to play it or not. You know, maybe your vision's better.
I think you should make Dark RP.
Said Dark Art. This guy, get him out of here! Holy shit.
CJ, you should work and only do what you like to do. And if people play it, then that's just a byproduct of it. You shouldn't expect people to play it, because then I think you're doing it for the wrong reason. I agree, it does suck, but there's nothing you can do about that. And I've accepted that with Classic as well, and I'm fine. I like working on it, so that's all that matters. It's fun to me.
Yeah.
So
the important part is that once you're developing something that you like, you'll always have that feeling of wanting to keep working.
It is a hobby at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We don't get paid to do shit, so.
I mean, people
Work
are
on what you
asking for 2021 era.
That's fine. And you know what? If you feel like doing that, you could just continue experimenting. If that's what you enjoy, why not? I don't see
Then
an
again,
issue.
it's like, will people actually play it though? Will people get off
Doesn't
main and
matter.
actually?
Well,
You know, in general-
again, anything that's not main, you know that it's, unless it has to be like event only. And that, so a thing with RTP, right? Darker knows that people would not be able to play consistently. That's how it's been for years. But he's figured out that if you host like weekend events, people
Oh well,
will
I
come and
can't
play.
do that because military.
It's sort of,
I can't plan in anything.
well, that's just an example of sort of like the whole, supply and demand. If you just set it up, all right, we're going to play this, people will show up.
Yeah, and I'm sure you can elect a trusted member of our community to also run things for you, in your Steam.
Exactly.
Crack can do it. You can always ask him. Like you can ask a lot
But
of
that
people.
said, I'll host events.
Who knows? But I mean, one thing I want to do really quickly is try to go over the questions because I'm noticing that we have a lot of
Yeah.
questions. and
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
so many questions this time.
Yeah,
Thank you for the
last
questions.
last I checked, it was over 50.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so-
Bloody
a
hell.
lot of people want us to answer the questions.
How long have we
quickly.
been going
That's
on
what
for?
they
Well, no,
want to come here
there's
for.
there's like 20.
Okay.
CJ,
No,
let's
what do you
just-
mean?
CJ, sip it. Thank
It
you.
wasn't
Let's
50,
see.
by the way. It's
Alright.
not 50.
So I think we went over all the main points. How long have we been going on for? About 1 hour and
47
Jesus.
minutes.
47 minutes. Okay. So I think we should spend the rest of the time answering community questions.
I'll be mentioning that any questions related to can you buff this weapon or that, really specific questions, I will unfortunately try to skip that because that is something that you should discuss in in-depth discussions and talk
Yeah.
to a developer directly. It's not we have so many questions. There's more questions that are prioritized and asking like in buffing the Y handler, I will be skipping because that is something for in-depth discussions.
Yeah.
Anything specific to a weapon, I'll skip.
So we're not ignoring the questions, but we're not going to answer them right now, and we're going to take a look at those afterwards because we could always answer those anytime in Discord. This is more, I guess, open questions that people want us to discuss. So
Yeah.
if your question hasn't been answered and it was probably related to can you buff or can you nerf, then that's the reason why, and you could always just bring it up again in ZS discussions or depth.
Yeah. We will be transparent about that. We will talk
So-
about it anytime after the Q&A, but not enough
Alright.
time here.
Dev,
So
or who wants to read off the first question?
I
do
can
that
read
right
it
now.
off here, but
I don't even know what the questions are.
I can see them. I know you can't. You struggle seeing them because you're on VR, but
I don't struggle seeing them. I've been talking to people in chat this entire time. That's what I've been
well,
doing.
it's in a different channel. That's what I mean. So you have
I'm
to
in the
look at
channel,
it.
yeah.
Okay, so
It's in the Q&A questions channel.
yeah, but I see the first question asked by Meow Guy is more related to: will we ever see a zombie survival roadmap? Because Sunrest is the leading server in this game mode. It's asking about a roadmap.
Well, I mean, these Q&As are sort of roadmaps, aren't they?
Well,
I consider them a
no,
roadmap.
really.
Well, I
Well,
think
I
I
can-
think
I
I think
can
Meow
discuss
I
more
think
about
Meow
that.
Guy was referring more to a
What,
like
document?
a written like document, like an actual
Sure.
like,
So there are a couple of changes that I
Consolidation.
do. If we do decide to go for them, I do want to write up a roadmap for, like, if we're going to make big changes to the dark market, I think we're going to need some kind of design document or something to just guide us, because that's going to be a huge change. It's going to affect everything. Same thing with bounties. If we decide to go some way with bounties, sure. But for me, I'm not set in stone on anything yet. And this is where I feel like we really do need feedback. Again, this is kind of just my personal feeling. Like, we kind of do need more feedback on things like, where do people want to go with the dark market? Do people like it? Do people not like it? Personally, if you ask me, I think moving some things out of the dark market, like, people want the demi-boss bar. How many? I don't know, but I think a demi-boss bar was an easy and convenient thing, and if we can bring that back, that might be a benefit to the game mode. Removing upgrades, like Pooflet said earlier, like that could also be really good, for the game mode. But again, it's all about what the players want here, because whatever direction we choose to go in, I will make sure that we have a good vision for it and we're good. Like, we have a solid plan. But this is something that is more subjective, and this is something that, like, I do feel we can make a good experience either way. It's just, what's the thing that's going to benefit the players and the game mode the most, and that's a discussion that we got to have.
The problem I want to speak about, like a roadmap, having it written down, seen by everyone. A lot of times we make decisions and then it's never set in stone. We might mention something like, oh, we'll promise giving this, adding a new zombie, describing it, and then turns out we discussed, we tested it, executed it. Turns out we don't need it, and sometimes ideas get scrapped. That's a problem with the roadmap entirely if it's written down, seen by anyone. Sometimes ideas can just be, you know.
I don't know.
Can I
mean,
just
there's
can
a
I
way to
just say
make a solid
something?
plan.
Well,
Can I just-
I'm saying a lot of ideas might be discarded. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's fine. A roadmap puts devs up to a standard, and it makes it so
mean,
we have a
it's
track
more
list
like
of what
a
we've done and
plan.
done.
Well, up to a standard. I mean, bro, like we do this in our free time. Things are gonna happen. I might
Yes,
get
but-
sent on a business trip. You know, like this.
Yes, but at the same time, there are lots of things that people don't see in the background of us basically arguing with each other in dev. So like, I don't.
Well, you also don't see like the 50 things that I work on, and I don't don't make it into the game mode. You know.
Yeah, but I'm saying
That's gotta be
it would
good.
still be good because it shows people what we are trying to focus on, even if there might be disagreements among the dev group. That's all. That's what I'm saying.
I could
Yeah.
go to the next question, by the way, so we can hurry up. But
Mhm.
the
Alright,
next
go on.
question asked by Jack Mackett, it's asking, can there be some simple tooltips added to the UI of screens, such as the remantler, inventory, alchemy table, etc., for people who haven't played in a while, or are new to the game, or are just not familiar with every tool or deployable interface? It could be either writing down the description of the options on the screen, how they are expected, and some more notable limitations. Not necessarily what it's like, but they're asking. So, are you asking more of like having hints, like kind of showing people how to use the UI and stuff? Like, I'm trying to understand this question a little more.
Tool tips, things.
Basically, they just want clarification for new players on what functions do.
Yeah,
which is
like-
kind of it's an issue because there are many other devs don't like doing UI stuff because it's kind of a pain in the ass. So
I mean, yeah, but I mean, like we already have tooltips in the game mode. I mean,
But
really.
to be fair though, some of them are like
You mean tooltips on random buttons or clarify?
Yeah, like on
Some-
for
they want
example,
they want mechanical explanations of things.
I kind of like the idea of showing new players how to play the game, because very often people are confused, like, oh, I need to press F2 to open the, like,
Well,
some
that-
ZS players are used to it.
Do you mean like explaining how like
No,
code
no, no, but
works?
that's not, they were just
I
talking
like,
about like if I click on this button on the UI, here's what it does. I can mouse
Yeah.
over it, like in Windows.
because new
and everything,
players
you know?
don't new players kind of get
I mean, I
overloaded at this
can't
point
see
where like
where it's coming
Yeah, like you
from,
go into the remand, like you go into like the inventory, you see like crafting, you go hover over it, and it says, "Oh, you open this." It shows all,
And then-
like, this is what you can do with it.
and then
Mhm.
let's not get into like the esoteric things where like some things are perfectly made not to interact with each other, and then like this fucking balance and everything where some things are just not explained and people just know how they work. So maybe there needs to be like a page that explains all this shit along with links, along with like hints or something.
Yeah, but
that I
that's
don't-
kind of out of scope for what the tooltip thing was asking for.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying it all leads into this like bigger issue though, where like new players probably don't.
Yeah, but you can take off
I
a
mean-
bite-sized part of that.
I don't know what
Um,
tooltips they're talking about.
I mean, there's a
They're talking about creating them.
We do have a
Creating what
tool,
tooltips?
but
What, the menu or what?
Yeah,
like,
for, like-
mechanical stuff.
Like I open up the
What's that
I open
mean,
up the
mechanical?
arsenal. I can like mouse over each tab, and it'll be like this is for guns, this is for firearms, like
Yeah.
or this is like you know
But it says
other.
gun on
These are
it.
how rounds interact with each
I know.
other.
No, I-
This is
No,
I
no,
think
not
we
the
know.
rounds. We're,
I think we're
we all have
speculating.
different ideas.
We're talking
I don't know
about,
what-
like,
sorry,
about
I don't know what
UI,
the
like when
tooltip
you open, like when you open the shop, when you open like the remantler, like when
What do
you
you
hover
mean?
over the buttons, like, oh, what does it mean to, like, oh, if I click on this, what does this do?
Like maybe we need a
environment stuff in the
definition of
shop.
what sturdy is, and then we
You
have
talk
like
about adding like a
Already, it's not
Microsoft
used in the game mode
paperclip?
anymore, Garm.
But this is
No,
as
I
an
don't
example
think
though.
about
I'm
that.
saying like as a definition. We put a definition.
Okay,
and
we're
like,
getting
an
off
explanation.
track.
We're getting off track. We need to
Tooltips. I wish they could clarify a bit more in suggestions. Like,
Yeah.
could you add a tooltip for this or something, please? Because that is too broad. I've got no idea what you're talking about. It's too vague.
Exactly. I
But
think
adding more information and ways of accessing, absolutely. I think that's a good thing. I think this game is very complicated, and I think if you don't follow update logs daily, then you suffer.
Yeah.
So yeah, more information, making the game more intuitive, absolutely.
Is there anything in the game that shows the update log?
No.
Wait, what?
We discussed that several times, but the formatting and everything would probably be a nightmare. And plus, funny commits or revert wars and stuff, it would be a disaster.
I mean, maybe it should just be something you submit along with the update.
You do. It's called your commit message.
Yes. No, I'm talking about something you also put in the game, though.
Can we have the next question,
let's
please?
go to the next question, please. But
I need to get my water. Where's my damn water?
So the next
Drew,
question
I think my water's
asked
hold on.
by Father Pucci, which I think. All right, so I think Drew might answer this a lot better with this question by Father Pucci, but he's asking, with how some games turn out, a chance of getting in the cave only comes once or twice in the end game. As a boss or any special zombie, you're meant to capitalize on this opportunity of the cave falling. Because of instant prop placement, trying to enter is just a guarantee to get stuck in the prop and instant death. Do you see going back to a short timer for prop placements? Can I go more into detail, or
I'm very interested in what the other devs' thoughts on this, but I really think adding a delay after putting in a nail to the actual prop getting frozen it's very bizarre. It's a very bizarre thing to imply that we need. I mean, I know it was in the game for a while, but it's just such a weird concept to me. Like, you want to be able to put down a prop and have it like be there and have like the physical prop is there and you nail it and that's it. Adding a delay that's kind of clunky and kind of like it's just bizarre to me. I understand why. I understand why we
drag him here so you can.
I'm pretty sure most people understand what he's saying when it comes.
No, I understand what he's saying, but
could you repeat the question? I wasn't paying attention. I was drinking my water. Sorry.
It was related to prop placements and like basically freezing so zombies can get stuck in them.
Yeah, so he wants the delay that's added after you nail a prop where it's intangible for a short time. He wants that re-added.
So he can crouch into the cave.
Yeah, so you can get into the barricade basically, and we discuss a lot of theoreticals about like how feasible is this to get a boss into the cave and all that, but I just think it's bad mechanic in general.
What's wrong with the current system?
That it doesn't allow people to crouch in when they're replacing, which is kind of stupid because zombies can sort of just instantly kill people at this point later in the game.
Well, and also the thing is, like, if there's a delay, you're going to create situations where even perfect gameplay, like perfect,
like imagine
if someone nails a prop inside of you, you're already phasing. What do you mean? No,
he meant like replacing.
He meant like if I put a nail in a prop, it is intangible for a short time, like a couple, like a half a second, something like that. That's exactly what I mean. Like I nail it, and then it's just not there. It's just not physical.
Collided. Just say no.
It's no collided.
Okay.
Basically.
But you don't want that for zombies. They'll kill you.
Yeah. But he just wants like a nightmare to crouch in and kill everyone.
I don't think he wants that. I think that's.
I mean, Pucci, I'm looking at the chat right now. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
I could drag him in the voice chat.
I know.
I might be arguing in
the chat. He could just give me a yes or no.
Okay.
Like I'm probably arguing in bad faith when I say he just wants a boss to crouch in and kill everyone. But I mean, like, what's gonna happen?
I'd rather we avoid bosses getting into the cave when you're nailing stuff, because that's not fair.
And also, like, if I am slightly off on my barricading, like if I nail at the wrong time, whatever, you're gonna get in. That's a mistake that the barricader is making. But by adding a delay, you make that mistake almost mandatory. It is like,
then it's not a mistake. It's just part of the game.
It's just how the game goes.
Can I just say
you've done it right, but you're still getting punished for it.
If you want to change the way props are placed, we would need to lower damage overall from zombies like later in the game.
No,
I'm saying this goes into another thing though.
This is going too much. Back to the question.
Keep in the scope.
I'm just saying that this all links back.
In scope.
All right. Okay. Does that answer the question? Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Next question, please.
All right. So I want to go talk about this because so many people are talking about it, but people are mentioning about a map call. We're moving maps.
No.
Where's Scott? Out here?
Is talking about it.
No.
I'm just gonna say this. All right,
that
is something that should be more discussed with Scott. I don't see Scott here right now, so I can't.
We can't answer any map-related questions if Scott is not here, and
I cannot.
More than likely already know the answer.
Yeah, Scott's the arbiter of the maps, so
he won't remove maps unless there's something genuinely terrible or broken in them.
Like it's
Like
crashing.
He
hack
says-
issues, any
Yes.
optimization issues, which usually
Crashing.
people mention that to me
Yeah.
because I usually fix the pack issues with a lot of maps. I've done that with so many maps, like Catnical
Yeah.
did that with stuff. Maps like pack issues that crash people due to improper packing. You could always mention that to me. Optimization issues, I could fix that. I
Certain
usually do a
maps,
lot of map fixing.
You just have to report them. We're not gonna just remove maps because someone doesn't like them, basically.
Yeah.
So
Everyone
we
has their own.
we answer
opinion.
this every Q&A.
Yeah,
It's probably an
do.
issue that, whatever. We can't really do anything about.
I always had this concept, this high level concept of having a map review board and just like have a group of people that would look through a map and,
What?
and do all that. Just like, hey,
You don't want
here's
that
an
though,
issue.
because then everything plays the same.
like I don't know.
What?
A
There's
lot
certain
of-
maps that like are just bad. Like you could just
Do you
That's
really
all-
want? Do you
that's
really want
pure
a certain
opinions.
someone to like go over every map and make it so everything's a
a group
one-way
of
entrance?
people that would agree.
That's
and
not
no,
what he's saying.
we wouldn't mandate that. That would not be one
Okay.
of the rules. It would be like,
You need to
board
be
of
very
people.
careful with it though. That's all I'm saying.
Drew is saying is to have people go through the maps and make sure there's any issues.
Yeah, like have somebody
optimization,
report the map.
bugs.
Yes, but that's
Just-
I'm saying it's a little nebulous. That's all.
No. People will find the problems with maps and tell us. That's the best way. We've always done
And
that.
that's
so
exactly-
we're
yeah.
sticking to that. We don't need this extra work of going through 1,000.
We need to remove all maps that have only one ways. I think we can all agree on
Johnny
that.
Mo map.
Disagree.
Anyways,
Next question.
can we get the next
Alright,
question,
we should
please?
go through the next question. The next question, simple question by Genak asking about custom hit sounds. That's just a simple question.
Isn't that already in the
I
We already have that?
It is
That's
a thing,
already
it
in
is
the game.
definitely
Already in the
a thing.
game.
That's
Thank
already in
you.
the game.
Next question, please.
All right.
It's in the 4 options, by the way. Have a look there.
Someone's asking about, KB asked this. This is not a bad question, but they're asking about the abundance of side game modes such as rush and melee mode. Is there a way to fold them into regular map pool with tags similar to OBJ? If not, what are the barriers preventing it? I'll just answer this for you. I already have plans for this. Arena maps I'm trying to implement. I already discussed it with Scott. He seems on board with it. I'm trying to add specific maps like Tanibus, Devour Towers, instead of having those hosted by unofficial events that people have been complaining about. I plan on having it on a separate cooldown, separate from OBJ, so it no longer affects OBJ maps, having it so they have their own map cooldown. I plan on having some maps have their unique fun event things that will have long cooldowns. So I do have plans with it with certain maps. Don't worry. You could see that I made a separate branch related to it on the Spark work. I am working on it a bit, but that is a good question. And yeah, that's what I can say.
Hold on. Kevdu, is that related to game types in CS?
Well, game types, it's going to be a really difficult thing to say. I understand melee mode and like hide and seek. Those are more like should be hosted by like an official event, but like regarding like specific event maps like arena, like Devour Towers, I plan on having those in the map vote because those are more possible to have.
I think that what they're saying is they just want some maps that you can vote. It forces melee mode on that map. That's all they want.
That is something that I would say would have to be more hosted by an official.
Yeah,
event.
those should be admin only.
Yeah. But you have to be careful because then like it would, people like normal ZS and then
Well, we've had a lot of talks about that also. Like, that's why we say you have to actually plan something out. And, like, you have to, say, I'm going to be doing this at this time. Because I've had a lot of issues where, like, I'll spend all day working on an update, like 4 hours after work. And I'll be like, man, I can't wait to see how this plays. And then we do events for 2 hours as soon as I get on.
And that's the reason why we have the ZE ban list now, too. So.
The ZE ban list.
Oh, yeah.
God, boys.
It is real. It is actually real. It's not a joke. Scott did add a fucking ban list.
Because we kept forcing ZE on main. I don't know.
Yeah, we have no control, so.
Also,
I hope that answers the question.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Also, to
Can we get the next question, please?
Yeah. So, will there be more events or incentives to help human players more that are at a disadvantage? So high zombies versus low human count for pushing during
Oh.
intermissions.
Yeah, this is like a
Okay.
Drew question, but
I
he's
could talk on this a bit. I've done a lot of work on the sort of health scaling because health scaling early game really did. It almost made it better to do a Z roll. Like, it buffed zombie health until like say there was like 100 pop. It buffed zombie health until you got like 40 pop. It would be like crazy. I mean, it would scale down over time. It would taper off, but still, they were getting more than their base health should give them. So I fixed that, and I did a lot of other stuff that's like not too. It's not too overt, but I'm not really sure what the best solution is going to be. Maybe weighting the chance of like certain loot drops based on infliction. Maybe that might be a good thing. Because really, there's nothing I hate more than getting on ZS and seeing that 10 people are just suiciding at the beginning of the map. Great, fantastic. We're just gonna go nonstop loss hours and all that stuff. I get it. People like playing zombie. I'm not saying don't play zombie. Don't get me wrong. But when the people are just rolling and the game's just a nonstop loss,
it's
I want to reward players for sticking it out. I think that's one of the things that I enjoy the most about ZS is when players stick it out against really difficult odds. And we should make the game actually balanced around that, Because having a lot of people intentionally, go zombie at the beginning of the game mode to just either skip a map or just to punish people, because that seems to be a common thing too. I would really like to just wipe that out wherever we could.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
it just that relates to other things. It's a really complex issue where people being able to influence the game and stuff like that. So it's just very hard thing to tackle and fix, and it's deep rooted within so many other like different issues. Like I just said, where like kind of like what Drew's saying, where like a small minority of people that are like good at zombie can influence the game and cause a Z roll. It's kind of like a hard thing.
You don't even need to be good. If you get enough people to suicide, it doesn't matter. Because like that's why infliction is where it's at, and it's not changed for so
Yeah,
many
that's what I'm
years.
saying. It's like 3 different issues compounding on each other, so it's hard to fix. Like,
Mhm.
it just takes time to fix.
But whatever. I mean, if I do anything, it's not going to be super overt. I'm not going to do anything like Sigil Aid or like that. It's going to be something that's more subtle and maybe
The
even
meta
not.
game, but for humans.
No, not like that either. It's going to be something so subtle you probably won't even notice it.
Yep.
So that's
I
my
could
plans.
go to the next question.
Mhm.
This one,
Yes, please.
P-Town, this one's more direct towards you. Is it possible for people to vow for polymarriage?
You mean polygamy?
What?
Like,
No.
God damn it.
is P-Town not here to answer?
He's here.
I'm
Wait,
here.
wait, wait, what?
What's the
Wait,
question
what?
again?
They're
He
asking
wants to
about
know-
polymarriages.
No.
I think P-Town has already
What?
spoken
Okay,
quite a bit about this already.
I'll be serious about this. It is possible to add multiple people to the marriage in quotation marks list. The problem is having to display that multiple people in an efficient way. I had dealt with this with title cards. I do not want to deal with this for the Valve system. It is a horrendous mess. I do not want to make it network so many times because the title cards already do that by default. And 128 players having title cards would mean a disaster for each and every time someone connects to the server. Yeah,
I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, this is.
I mean, it's considered to the point that it's like completely non-existent, basically.
Yeah.
The consideration is there, but it's non-existent.
I can go to the
You
next
should
question.
vow one person and be happy about it. Yeah?
Exactly.
Stop being greedy,
Did
everyone.
anyone ask about Lich yet? By the way, I'm side note.
So I could go to the next question. One of it's related to the wiki. They're asking to fix the wiki. I think what they mean is update the wiki. Is that
Isn't it slow right now? Like very
Wiki.
slow.
Yeah, it's TS. How much CS is changing?
It also just
How
doesn't
much-
work.
Yeah, like wait. What do you mean it doesn't work? What?
Well, like half of it's outdated, and then
So
half
it
of it
works,
just
it's
doesn't
just
load.
outdated.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
outdated, which the problem is
Pretty sure it has broken
it's gonna
pages.
need constant
Because it's
updating.
outdated.
Yeah.
And the way
okay.
we develop is too fast.
I
right
actually
Yeah.
have a lot to say about this. So when we add new mechanics and stuff to the game mode, a lot of it doesn't come with writing. I mean, you see, I one of the things that I like to do with the game mode is go, this mechanic's kind of weird. It seems kind of inconsistent to me. Let me look at the code. Oh God, oh no, how could it be this complicated? It didn't work like anybody predicted it to. We're in hell. Like, if we could, as a development team, which again, I'm not saying is really even feasible, just understand every mechanic to the level of depth that we could get a wiki page on it, maybe. But then you also got to consider now every update, I got to write my update. I got to write my update logs, and I got to write a change to the wiki. It's a lot to manage, and then you have unintended behaviors and all that. I would really wish that I could write up a wiki on everything, and it would be really neat and nice. But it's just such an immense amount of work, and it would also require us to have an understanding of the game mode that I honestly don't know if any single one person has.
No.
Maybe we should do it as a team then, because I'm looking at this wiki. We don't even have a.
feasible.
But you're not getting what I'm saying.
Okay,
Gordon.
think about
I know it's not.
think
I'm
about
saying
games with wikis, right? They're easy to sort usually because those game companies or whatever, they update the games, once in a while. There is no other game like ZS that gets updated every day. It would be impossible to maintain that wiki.
I know that,
And
but
it's
it's
a
like
futile and a waste of time to try.
Well,
we don't even have like a control point page on the wiki.
Well-
It's just nothing.
well, here's how Guild Wars 2 tends to do it. Guild Wars 2 uses its own community while rewarding them with in-game stuff, in-game currency to update the wiki as much as they can. Whenever they update the wiki, that means they earn currency, they earn items, they earn other stuff. But that's because we have to give them a motivator. Basically, we have to give players a motivator to update the wiki.
Even if they did have a motivator, though, my point is that without access to the code, they are. I don't think anything really is possible. I mean, God, there are so many things in the game where I think I know how it works. Players think they know how it works. Then you look at it and it's like, oh my God, dude, like really? Like, did you know that melee weapons, just for an example, melee weapons, for like 4 years, melee weapons that do cleave did so much damage. You're funny. Did so much damage. Did more damage to the zombies that were further away from them than closer to them when considering cleave. 4 years, that was a problem. Like, I only figured that out the other day because I took a cursory look at it to do the knockback taper. Like, oh my God, it was damaging the wrong zombies. So, like, if there were enough zombies near you and you swung your great knife, it would hit the zombies further away from you, but the guys closer to you would take no damage. Like, oh my God.
What does that have to do with the wiki?
My point is that we didn't even have a grasp on that simple of a mechanic. How could we expect players to figure this out if that wasn't even a bug report?
Well, I think I know why, Drew, and it's mostly because of HSC's optimization. It bases off the user ID of the player.
No, that's not it. That's not it at all.
Okay.
The sorting function sorted in the wrong direction.
Yeah, oh.
Yeah, no, it was in Lua. It wasn't out. It was nothing to do with the actual traces. It was outside of Lua, or outside of the module in Lua. We were sorting the table the wrong way.
Okay.
Can I tell you why we don't need a wiki?
Well,
because we have the weapon database, we have the undead bestiary. We already have these collections of information. Why would we need a wiki as well?
Well, it's to basically explain the more grittier in-game mechanics.
Yeah, but that goes back to the
people would have to go to the wiki to know the more deeper details and just
how the paperwork
at numbers and descriptions, basically.
But why not add that information into the game itself?
You can with the wiki though. You could just link the page.
It's going to get outdated.
Well,
if it's in the game, it probably won't be, though.
It's better than having JetBoom's in-game help window, which was never fucking updated ever since.
I think a wiki would only work if it's for mechanics that we know are not volatile. Like, I don't think putting weapons in there is a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh well,
Yeah.
you could break
Yeah,
down the weapons into
weapons-wise,
tiers though.
let's not put in weapons.
Yeah, but not stats. Surely not the stats.
I think we could just sum this all up by saying it's a massive undertaking and it's something that we can consider, but it's never going to be 100% accurate or fully encompassing on the game mode because
Mhm.
it would require a lot of really deep code checks and like in-game testing and all that other stuff that's just maybe infeasible for a game that like ZS where you can only play it live on main. You can't really just go into a local server and just start grinding out wiki pages, you know?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Oh, shit.
What
Next
happened?
question then, Kevin.
I
Next
could
question.
answer.
So,
Okay,
oh
so
shit! Did I get out of my seat? Oh, crap.
Oh, did you?
all right, Poofly, you're right.
No, how do I need to fix my seat. Ah, god damn it!
Yeah, he doesn't have full body
What
like I
the
do.
hell?
So.
Oh my
Alright.
god, what the fuck?
What
I'm gonna
the
kill his
fuck
stream.
is
I'm gonna kill his
happening?
stream.
What is he doing?
Got the feed.
He's throwing it back.
Okay. Next question, please.
I'll do
Forget
that.
it
So
again.
this one's asked by Matt Marsh.
Oh,
They're asking about:
There you go.
are there any plans for
facing
the
the wrong
golden
way.
sigil mechanic or any similar sigil difficulty related mechanics?
What the fuck?
Oh no.
Wait, what's this?
Okay. The golden sigil was. I think that was one of my ideas that I mentioned ages ago, and it's one of those things that it never fucking happened. It never fucking happened because the problem is that having to determine which spot is the shittiest spot of all would require about 200 maps worth of play per map per server, which means we cannot have CSPS and other CS type game modes having the same stat values.
Yes, so
Hold
nothing, nothing short of having like a quantum computer crunch. Do
Yeah,
that.
no.
That'd be feasible.
Well, we could just
It's
send
not-
some poor sucker to determine what the worst spot is.
Well,
in each map.
okay. Here's the thing. It's I know what you're trying to say, but we're trying to determine in the deterministic way, depending on where the humans tend to cade and when the humans tend to take off. We can just label each spot. Yeah, this is a shitty spot. Put a golden seal on there.
Yeah.
But what happens if it doesn't become a shitty spot later on? It was people just not doing this
Yeah,
properly.
and the balance of the game changes. Yeah.
Wouldn't it
all
just
that.
Yeah.
be easier to make the worst sigil, like just make it the inverse of that, where you have a really shitty sigil, but it's in the best spot on the map?
That is gonna be a lot of effort because then we're gonna have to go through every map and determine what sigil's
Thanks,
bad.
guys.
Get the
That is gonna
diarrhea
be
chest.
a lot of work.
Go
What is that
on.
have to
Yeah,
do with diarrhea scorn?
It's one of those ideas that need to be highly considered. need to be
I
highly
will
better
say, I
for-
think the idea of maybe like a hard mode or like a hard mechanic for more reward is a good thing. But I don't know how you would
so
implement it.
badly.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, people like a
Okay.
challenge, Drew. It's not,
Ugh.
you know.
People do like
This is the game where people suicide when the map's too hard. Going.
Well, it depends on the population at the time. It's a very complex issue. We can talk about it later.
All right. Well, next question then.
I could go to
You
the
might want to
next.
mute your mic.
So the next question is there any plans for the future seasonal events and their pickups, such as like the summer meteors and Halloween doors? So they're asking about plans for like seasonal events. I mean, we already are having one. It's the Valentines one, and the hearts drop around the map that you can pick up. But
Andre.
anyone want to answer that? Like more seasonal
Well,
stuff?
I know for Halloween, I know it's kind of far away, but I wanted to color the sigils to actually be a Halloween color, kind of like we have for Valentine's, and maybe like some more like
okay. No.
maybe like some more like spooky, like cheesy, like ghosts and stuff like that. Just more fun, like Halloween spirit type of stuff. Because you know, I think holidays really do benefit from leaning more into their aesthetics and themes. So
I do want like I mean I noticed that Pooflid when he used to do a lot of the artwork for the seasonal stuff, and I want to try to keep up with that, like try to make some artwork for the summer event and having cool names for them. Like I do have a few plans with them, but I think the next event we have it's the summer
Summer.
event, or do
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
an Easter event?
I think we
We do. Yeah, we do.
We do. Okay.
It's just no
Yeah,
one
we
really
do.
cares about it because
I
Well,
care
yeah.
about it.
I could make
Oh,
some
God,
art
I
and
just-
stuff like Pooflet did.
oh god, Do you think what I'm thinking?
What?
I'm not doing it again.
What? Like we did for Christmas?
We're not thinking the same thing then. Okay, good.
Oh, okay, good. I thought you meant fishing.
Oh yeah, we're making fish. We're
Okay,
making
good.
fish.
Good.
All right, so I could go to the next question. This one's more related to awards, which I think P-Town might be more familiar with, but are there any plans about the nearly impossible awards, such as stealing your heart achievement?
Oh, those are the summer. The Valentines achievements. Then, a lot of the awards really need to be looked upon because of the game will change a lot. Because back then, those values were kind of challenging to get, or somewhat easy to get. But now, since many changes have happened, those achievements are becoming more and more harder to attain. So yeah, the 300 headshots in one single round, for example. Yeah,
That's
that
just like
one
not
is-
possible.
Wait, that's
nowadays.
hard?
Yeah,
It's
that is.
impossible.
It's impossible
would-
now.
No, I
Gorma, it's
mean-
impossible.
It was easy. Now it's just impossible.
Yeah.
Cause zombie health.
Huh?
I mean,
Zombie
it's
health.
not okay.
Buffs.
Just use the quad 9.
This fucking guy.
Oh my god,
Yeah, but if we base it off from contraband, then it's gonna be unfeasible.
No, we're not basing anything on contraband. No.
Yeah, we do not want achievements to be earned by just having a weapon that is so.
Or they could use the
extremely OP.
Renegade. The Renegade's pretty good at it.
This is getting you're dragging this
Gorma,
on
Gorma. Even
Okay,
with the
I'm sorry.
Renegade- Even with the Renegade, I could still barely hit 200 headshots, even with the Renegade. So let that sink in.
Okay. Technical difficulties for 1 second.
But I do want to adjust some of the awards eventually. Just that it's gonna be hard for me because I'm focused on a lot of shit at the same time, and it's very taxing because I'm most of the only person that has knowledge behind the Sparkwork code. And
Yeah.
besides Extreme, I'm the second person that has more knowledge in Sparkwork. So yeah, it's gonna be harsh for me basically. But I'll consider it a lot. I'll have
He
it.
sounds under a
I'll
lot
have
of
it.
stress.
I think we all are.
Mhm.
I'm the only person that's doing this, so please be patient with me.
Like, oh my-
What was that?
What the hell was that?
Dude.
Did an atomic bomb just come?
Who was that?
Goodness gracious, dude.
Holy fuck, what is happening?
When I say I'm setting up for VR, this is the kind of stuff that I try to get rid of. I try to baby-proof the area.
Okay, well, next question then, Captain.
Can I just ask really quickly? Did we talk about anything about like class balance? I know I was late. Sorry about.
Well,
No.
Gorma, I'll
Yeah.
answer this
Yeah.
for you. I'm just mentioning this. I'll repeat it. There are a few questions I know I skipped that are related to specific weapon balances, bounty balances, adding back trinkets. I'm reading them. All of us can read them.
Okay.
It's better off leaving those in ZS in-depth discussions or ZS discussions because there's more questions related to mechanics that would be better off answered here, and then stuff that are related to balancing, like
Well, maybe it could
Erwin's
be.
question would be better for ZS in-depth.
Maybe.
You can
maybe
yell them at me at the next fireside.
yeah,
chat.
I was gonna say maybe
Yeah.
the next fireside should be to talk about like balance issues. Maybe.
Yes, we could do that, but the Q&A will talk more about the mechanics
here we
and
go.
more prioritize those types of questions. But the next question that I see are it's more related to the mechanic update coming. So it's like talking more about saying how it's left in the back burner. So stuff like gun turrets, drones, roller mines,
Oh.
and the whole mix of those. So
I know there was
they really
a.
like
Again, just mention real
Oh,
quickly.
yeah,
I
just
know
do-
there was. I was speaking to Rayox about this. I think it was a few months ago, where we wanted to make a mechanic where you like sweet spot heat for turrets and other deployables, so they would run more efficiently at a certain amount of heat, so you can micromanage them to be
Oh,
better.
that was planned for classic an update actually.
Yeah, I think it would
Is
make.
that
it
related to the question? Sorry.
yes.
Yeah.
We're not
It's
going
talking
off
more
track, are
about
we?
stuff like that. I mean,
Okay.
a thing that I find very controversial is the force field emitter. That's also something that
That's going to
needs
be a
to-
big
No,
change. That's
I
gonna
really
completely
don't
change the
think
game
that
mode.
we
is
need-
something I know it's as complicated as I know how it is, Drew, because the game.
That's more of
does
like a
rely on
It
specific
needs to
balance, though.
exist.
Wait, is this the classic or the main force field?
I
Sorry.
mean,
Main.
Oh,
Main.
well then.
It's
Continue.
kind of.
Main force field is actually really shit, though.
I
'cause-
mega buffed it, and it's still really shit.
It's a really difficult thing to talk
well,
about the force
this
field.
this is the fun of zombie survival. Everybody has
Yeah.
these extremely different opinions. It's like we're playing a different game. I don't
Can-
know which one's correct.
Can
I
I
only have
just-
my own ideas.
I was the one that touched it last. I doubled its ammo capacity. I made it resupply faster with the handheld tool. I forget what it's called. I'm pretty sure it still dies instantly. So I don't know what the hell.
I
is going on
tried.
with-
I tried working on that, Gorma. Like, I don't know if you noticed me, but I've been trying to reduce as much spam poison with a lot of zombie classes, like the vile monster, the turgid wretch, the anything related to poison. I try to reduce as much poison spam as possible because I wanted to touch upon like the force field, but like it's a very difficult thing to talk.
It might
about
need like a
that.
mechanical rework with the way it does damage or something.
I just hate the force fields. If I'm being honest, I just hate it.
They kind of need to exist with the amount of projectiles that are
But
in
they
there.
And
also-
those are both the two sides of the argument and the discussion that needs to happen. Like, if we remove it, then how do we make the projectiles manageable without one? What would you
Well, I
even
mean,
do?
Well, I mean,
You can't
if,
out heal
if
the
you wanted to make them
projectile.
manageable, you'd have to see about with like medics and stuff.
Well, you'd have to also super nerf all the debuffs that are coming out human team too.
Return
Like
of the nullifier.
the nullifier is fine. I mean, but we're getting off topic. We should be answering questions here. We could have this discussion later.
Yep.
We could write up a design document, throw up some PRs. There's a lot of stuff we could do. So, yeah.
Okay, so let me see. It's asking about more mail. Anyone want to see? Let's see.
What's the next question?
All right, I'm just looking through these questions. So, question asked by Lucasaurus: will you ever make the undead beast theory more useful, such as giving actual information on what bosses do instead of random lore? I mean, we kind of do.
That is
have
already-
descriptions.
For
Yeah,
great
that's
evils,
in-
we
That
don't.
would probably do something.
Well,
to
great
it.
evils are like that on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
But-
they're talking about like the weapon descriptions.
Yeah,
that we
that's what I wanted to touch
Hey,
on
from
actually.
the
because
Sunhog class selection.
in
We already have
Sunhud,
that.
Sunhud's class selection is actually really great. It's something that
Yeah.
I wish. Yeah,
That's on by default.
yeah, but for looking in the undead bestiary, that information isn't there. You get to look at their stats, but you don't get to see those. But
Yeah, you just
Uh,
get like
oh.
Ancient Nightmare goes to Taco Bell or something in its description.
I
That's it.
see.
no, I think Ancient Nightmare has an actual, and if he doesn't, like descriptions aren't viewable in the Sunhud class selection. That's actually something I would
No.
love to do. I would love to put a description there and then have all the boss descriptions describe what they do and like their purpose in the game. So we don't have all these debates over what the heck is Shade a tank? Like, all
I mean, you
these
could call me
problems.
stupid. I was surprised that Ancient Nightmare had built-in slow because it didn't mention it anyway.
I was surprised too. That's something that's not even mentioned in the code for it. It's just inherited from Nightmare, and everybody just.
Yeah.
We should
Had to
hard code
clarify.
that. We should hard code that, by the way, because all the buffs to Nightmare actually did carry over to Ancient Nightmare, and he was actually really crazy. He could probably do 24 leg damage with how much damage he does, but getting off track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just reading through the last questions, and they were more related to balance questions, which I don't know if you want.
If it's towards the end, I think that's fine. I don't.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, what's the next question?
I mean, they're more.
That was the
related
last
to-
one.
The leg
That
damage
was
is
the
just
last
slow.
one, but there are a few balance questions that I did skip through because. they're
If it's
related
just
to
can you
stuff.
buff, can you nerf, then as I
No,
said,
I mean,
it might
one
be
of them's
general.
related to prop transponders, which.
Oh.
Prop transponder. That's
Oh.
interesting.
Oh, I've seen that happening.
Okay,
too.
so this one's questioned by only question yourself, which is can you make it so where transponders make prop at high level? Because 25% of the time, some maps make the prop drop through the floor or they get stuck in the
that
floor.
sounds like a
blocking
bug.
people.
God.
That sounds like a bug. So
Yeah,
if
they're-
you-
I mean, that is a bug.
Do we need to raise the prop like where it spawns more up from the
But then
transponder?
they can clip into the ceiling if the ceiling's low.
Well,
Well,
then
you
like
could
damned if you did.
easily. No. I mean, you could make an easy solution for
You
this.
need
You could
it,
try to
uh,
project. You could do like a hole trace and see if the hole's colliding with anything. I mean, I think we already do this though. I mean,
We already do
I haven't
that.
looked at the code. Yeah. So what's the issue with it going in the ground? I mean, you just need to offset it a little bit.
It
from
can
the-
get map props, and I'm assuming what he's saying is some map props that are in the
Or
pool
shit.
of transponder just
Well-
get stuck in the floor or the ceiling sometimes.
Oh,
Well, we get
Yeah,
the
I
bounding
can-
box, the
there's
map
some
props.
stuff happening.
I think there might need to be more checks onto if a prop can print.
Like this. Let me send you an image of one.
I've seen a lot of times props get like very often when I see this is usually a
Like this.
Oh, there
metal
it is.
bed. Usually the metal beds get stuck very frequently.
Wooden bookshelf too.
Yeah,
What the
metal
fuck is happening there?
beds. The shelves usually get these props stuck. I see the question trying to make them higher. That is a bug fix that I think someone who is very
Is it
well
not check to see if it's blocked when before it
experienced.
spawns
We
another one?
just
Look
talked
into it.
about that. I don't know. I mean, we could look into the code for it. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, people way more experienced with the game mode than me wrote the prop transponder. So I'm assuming everything I can think about they're trying or they're doing, but who knows?
They might have just
We all-
forgot something. Who knows?
It's outdated though. That's from not Dragon Org, Forest from like 4 years ago.
I thought
Like,
Magic Swap made it.
No,
They
it was
did,
Forest.
yeah.
It's from HG.
No,
What?
wait.
No, I'm pretty sure Magic recoded it, didn't it?
Oh,
We could look through the Git
shit.
history right now and figure that out.
We could look through it later, but I could go to the
Oh,
next
yeah,
question
it was
related
Forest.
to balancing.
It was
it was
Forest.
probably
What?
outdated.
It was
probably
Forest, and then I
needs-
think Magic
So
updated.
one of them's asking, can we get more melee weapons? Because guns are
Aw.
doubled.
More?
I,
Wait, more? Whoa.
Okay,
more
can I just mention something about this?
hold on.
I actually kind of like the number of melees because they're very specific in what they do, and I think the number of guns we have, I think, is proportionately too high compared to some of the amount of melees we have.
How many
Because
variants?
I think we should come up with ideas for things to put in the game, and if it's a good idea, then we add it, and then if it's not a good idea, then we don't. I think developing something saying there's not enough of X or Y, and not having a good concept behind it, is just a path to destruction. It's fraught with peril. So that's how I would go about it. If we have good concepts for melee weapons, we should add them. We shouldn't just add them to bloat the pool. If we don't, so yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah.
I think it's like I said, I think it's just a complicated thing. Like this is kind of probably like a personal opinion thing, so it's whatever. It's whatever the dev like adding their weapon or like looking at the weapons, trying to rebalance stuff feels about
But
what
whoever has the
overlaps and what.
vision.
Yeah, whoever has the vision. Like I personally think we should probably be reworking some guns that I think probably overlap with other guns, but I mean I don't know if that will ever happen. You know, that's my opinion.
I mean,
So
I could go to the next question
Mhm.
related to balancing, but this one's asked by Vermoin. It was partially addressed, but with a few exceptions, such as alchemy and contraband, 2023 and early 2024 has far seen bounties, traits, and trinkets that have been around for many years get removed. For example, auto reloader, overclocker, a huge amount of the specialist tree, spirit essence, and there's no real alternatives or replacements. Most attempts of making the game more balanced has made the game even more imbalanced, but instead with less content. So they want us to talk about that. Supposedly.
that's a very broad
I,
question.
I can give you a very good answer about this. There's a lot of things that I don't allow into contraband, and there's things that I've even tried to add to contraband, but then they've been problematic. There was a time where I did have the flux stone in contraband. At some point, it was in there. I had the flux stone and I had the old flux stone that's currently the oscillating pebble. And I made a bunch of jokes about it in the flavor text and all that, but it's just when you see that, it's like, oh god, I'll just take that and then I'll use one of the like million build-up builds that are problematic, including the things that we buff the build-up for, and then it's just always good to take.
What people need to understand is there are lots of conversations behind the scenes about balance, and there are many very different opinions on it. Like I was just gonna say like how some people wanted overclocker back, and then yeah, I'm not gonna mention any names. Some people thought it was a bad bounty trinket, and we should just buff.
I think it's a
like-
bad bounty trinket.
If
I think
something
it's
was
fine.
removed from the game, there's a very good reason because we don't lightly remove content from the game.
I hate removing content from the game.
I
Flat out.
understand.
That's why
that-
contraband's a thing.
You know, maybe we can reevaluate it if the bounty box becomes a thing. Who knows?
Oh my
No,
god,
I-
let's just do it.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to evaluate it. I think that trinkets concept was flawed from day one. This is another thing with like, melee emblem and exotic cookbook. I could bring these back. I have the code for them.
my God.
It would be easy. It would be.
I mean, I think
trivial.
we should like rework stuff like cornucopia and stuff like that. You know.
Cornucopia was a flawed concept from day one. I can say so many things about it that are just wrong. Like if you had spread feast and you had cornucopia, it would just break your spread feast. And also, like its function is for a skill that's not even in the game anymore. So we need to rewrite that skill.
What?
We need to re-add it. And also, it would just be overpowered. It would just be super
What-
strong.
What you need to realize though is a lot of people like these concepts that inherently add strength that are random though. So like when you take something away, people feel like you're like removing something that they find fun. So the issue is that like we need to find some way to add back older concepts and balance them.
I
for-
have called contraband.
Eh. Like
Eh?
that's how I feel. That's how I feel about it.
I'm not
I
adding
guess-
back really OP things that if you get contraband, then you just win. Like stuff like the Demon Core. I don't want that.
That's not what I'm. Also, the demon core.
Okay,
is stupid.
that's-
No, the demon core is fucking dumb.
But
I'm
also
talking about
things
other
like
things.
things like Icy Heart, where they turn every build into the same build, which is incredibly overpowered, and then you can
I'm-
stack multiple
You're
elementals
thinking about
across
very
multiple
specific
times.
things. I'm saying in general, maybe we should
In
evaluate. this.
general, that has always been my mindset, and that's why I've developed so many trinkets. I mean, like there's like 20 trinkets in there that I brought back from the dead. I mean, glass weapons, scrap weapons. You got fucking what is it? The Crimson Band. You got
But at certain points, right? Why are they in
Shooting ball
contraband
ball?
then? Why don't we just put them back in the normal game mode? Like, why do we need to hide them in contraband? Right? If we think these concepts are fine for the game, in
I
general,
don't think they're
why the
fine
fuck?
for the game in general.
Then why
like
the
I-
fuck would you add it back?
Why would I add it back? Because that was the thing. They're rare in contraband, and you can't rely on them. So that's why. Like that's why they can exist. It is a fun blast of the past that you can get every once in a while. And I don't talk about these things because contraband is kind of secret. It's kind of like a cool Easter egg sort of thing, more so than like a huge balance consideration. But I don't want contraband to ever be something where it's just like you get it and then you're just the best. You're just the guy. I never
I
wanted
mean,
to
you
be
can do
like
that with blood and knock, but I mean, it's whatever.
You can do that with. There you go.
And that's my point, though.
My touchpad activating. You can't do that with Blood and Knock. What are you talking about? Who's been top scoring with Blood and Knock?
Theoretically, I'm saying though, you can still do it. Like we have weapons that were broken during Blood and Ox era that are still in the game. This is a tangent. We could talk about this later in dev.
This
It's
is
not really
another.
res-
This is another fireside episode.
Yeah.
It really
worry about
is.
I'm
I
not
could,
trying. I'm not trying to distract you from it. I'm just trying to talk to you about it. Like I'm not trying to.
I understand your reasoning. Why is something that was removed from the game added, but in a harder to get way?
And a nerf.
That kind of makes it unfair because it's so
And-
RNG and it takes away a lot of skill from the game because all it takes
Yeah.
is for you to get the contraband.
And
now you're just like, oh, I have a
Yeah.
super strong build and no one else can even compete with me because I got lucky. Like, how is that fair to all the other players?
CJ, when does that happen though? When does that happen?
lot.
When does somebody a lot?
Quad 9 kind of is really good for contraband.
There's a lot of contrabands that are just like really, really strong.
But we're getting sidetracked. People want their own
No,
questions. We
I-
can talk about this later.
People.
Do we have any more questions?
Hey,
This is
guys,
related.
I do
Get
have.
back on the topic. Let's
I
get
could
back on
go to the
topic.
next question,
These
which
balancing
one of
questions.
them's asked by Wikimedia. With the addition of Abyssal Metronome and Feastering Devotion, are we gonna try to get a
Oh,
combat stack
That's like a
bounty
real question.
for Renegade
Mm.
stacks?
Rayoc question. Yeah.
She.
Yeah, it's she.
Yeah, I spoke to her about this. It was just whenever she has time to balance it and make it, basically.
That is something that she can.
Damn finger.
I do think the name should say Circle of Sin, though. That was a hard name. It was hard.
A lot of the questions I see are related to can we have this weapon back? That I did
Well,
not
welcome
go
back.
over.
What
Like,
weapon?
Well, one of the weapons they're asking for is the Ancient Annabelle as a point shop item.
I
Uh,
would actually kind of like that. I think the Ancient Annabelle was something that I added that it wasn't removed because it was overpowered. It was removed because it was a concept that didn't work. But I did a lot of stuff with it, and it took a lot of soul searching. And I think I made a concept that does work with it. So maybe that could be balanced. Same thing with the RPS. That was more of like a just thing that I came up with off the cuff, and people really like it. So maybe
Yeah.
those can make it into the point shop. I don't know.
At least they're not asking about the old gas.
Another
but-
question about a weapon coming back. This one's a different person asking. Is Mr. Shishai asking if the bounty revolver, the tier 4 one, is ever coming back?
So that thing
mean-
got. I can
I
answer that. That thing
can-
actually got buffed because it had its bounty stuff removed, and I wouldn't be against re-adding bounty rounds to it. But like, do we need to nerf it again if we're
Yeah.
giving it back, or is
Yeah.
it just fine if we just give it back bounty? Well, the thing is, the revolver's always been weird because there are people that have said like, "Oh, it's completely dog shit," and there are other people that say, "Oh, it's actually very, very good for a tier 4." So
Like
like,
everything else in the game.
yeah, so it's just like I go have an accurate depiction of do I just re-add headhunter rounds to it, or do I just leave it alone because it's fine? You know what? Fine. I'll re-add bounty rounds to it, and we can just see what happens. I'll try to see what other tier
You
4s
should
have.
undo the damage buff.
Uh-huh.
It's probably fine. Because remember, the conditional damage is if they're taunting.
This
So,
one,
like-
I could go to the next question.
Wait, what do you need my opinion on?
Yes, please.
All right, Drew. This one's more specific to you because I know you'll like answering this one.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be more features to offset insanity from the banished shop because they don't like risking their life and points for a banished weapon just to be blinded when they can't?
Oh, I agree with that, and I'm not sure if they're maybe. I have some like really out there ideas, like maybe doing sigil rifts could heal because like in the past, you're gonna love this story. This is a good one. There was no way to heal insanity in the past. There was none. I added it, and I wrote all the code for that for the spot lamp. Like that's what got us to actually make insanity not like a permanent thing.
But it's contraband.
Let me talk. So I added that in. So before then, we just always considered insanity like a permanent thing, and it would always be a system change to make it not. And like, there's always the question of, is that we're kind of balancing it around getting these wacky effects. So should we add a way to get rid of the insanity? I mean, I would like to maybe taking sigil rifts could heal a certain amount of insanity. I wouldn't like to be too direct about it. Insanity is a little insanity is a little wacky. It is something that's kind of obfuscated from the players a bit, but maybe there could be a way to heal it. Maybe it could be like an alchemy craft. Maybe it could be a food item even. You know,
Hell.
there's a lot of ways that you could go about it. I could add the spot lamp to the banish shop.
I wanted to fucking make a bounty trinket that made it so you could have lethal insanities for upside. That was something I was considering. No, not like
No.
optional. I'm not saying for everyone. I'm saying like a bounty trinket that you get yourself that activates lethal insanities on you for an upside.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of my concept behind the tuna. I mean, but the tuna was something you could manage. It is something that if you use it too much, then you start getting lethal insanities. So you could crutch on it for a while to heal yourself and get the combat stacks.
Yeah,
but
I like that.
Once
I
you
think
reach
that
that
just-
limit, once you get mercury poisoning, it's all over for you. You're going to get lethal insanities. Even if your insanity gets healed, you're going to
Yeah,
keep
but like
getting them.
imagine this, right? You have like a really, really like nice, powerful bounty, right? And you literally have to manage this lethal like onslaught of insanities. I think would be a very, very cool.
The issue
like,
with
play
that is if it becomes so good that it's dominant, every player is going to have to deal with the insanity effects.
They're kind of doing it to themselves, though, if they're doing it at that point.
Yeah, no, they're doing it to themselves, but if it makes them optimal and they want to use that trinket, they're always going to use it. So all the top players are just going to be people dodging insanities, not like.
I think we could probably
player.
find a sweet spot for
Maybe,
it.
maybe there is.
I was going to say that I do remember having that idea before about transitioning insanities to instead be given being too far from a sigil for too long as
Oh, I would
counterbalance
not.
instead
I
of
would not
being-
like that.
instead of being unbanished, because I mean, a lot of the times it just feels more like an annoyance than like an actual proper gameplay thing.
Yeah,
Insanities.
I'd like
Like,
the
it-
insanities that are a little more subtle, like the screen cracking. I think that's a wonderful one. Not the blinding ones, not the ones.
Dude,
that are
what was that
blinding.
one that like deafened you? That thing was terrible. It was like a really
That's still in the
loud
game.
noise.
Water one's
I-
ass.
Spike cramps is still the worst.
I definitely think that the more innocuous ones are a lot better, but the more disruptive ones that blind or play sound and can be very, bad for gameplay. I don't
I like
think
the
those
car.
really have a place because they like what purpose do they serve in gameplay? It just serves to make like, oh, you want to get banished? Oh, well, here's your punishment. It feels more
Yeah.
like a punishment.
Honestly, I really like the banished for optional things. Like
Yeah.
Like I really do want to work on banished fishing a little more because it is one of the things that I really enjoyed. Like you are going out of your way to fish from this thing, and you are probably going to get owned for it. Like you're going to get a lot of punishments in addition to good things that are good. But it's not like I'm not locking any weapons behind it. There's no exclusive content for it. It's just if you want to take the chance, you can do it, and everything that you get is on you, and it has unique insanity effects to it too, which I really like.
I really like the
Beaver.
idea of like optionally going and making yourself insane to make the game harder for reward. I think it is a very, very cool concept. I think it has a place in the game because it's like an optional way of making the game harder for yourself.
But
Kind of
I
like
don't- Mhm.
what? I was just gonna say it kind of reminds me of like debuffs that you put on yourself. But yeah.
But I would have it be for consumables instead of being for like you know.
Well,
a
the bounty
that
thing
everything
was a thing that I'm just
Okay,
scared,
actually,
like,
no. I know how
constantly-
to cook this. I know how to cook this, Gorm. You make it increase the drop chance for zombies.
Ooh.
That would be actually something I would take.
Yeah, but wait, I'm currently in discussions with Rayox about like some rune, like the really stupid runes we have right now. But that's another.
That's another topic.
I'm surprised we didn't get any questions about that, about the diarrhea chest.
I think the diarrhea chest is
I could mention the next question now.
Yeah,
Go
sure.
on.
This I noticed the theme with Father Pucci relating replacement cades, but this one's more specific about the prop transponders. Talks about nerfing props transponders since instant prop placement will exist. It's because caders can infinitely replace props if there's enough. And will we see anything done with the total stockpile of props caders can get? Basically, guarantee wins with enough props. So it's mainly tackling upon replacement props, and if they have enough props, he's saying that there's basically a guaranteed victory for these caders because they can infinitely just replace these props.
Didn't we just see a clip of Abe like flying into a cave with Lich and teleporting the whole Z team onto him and killing everyone?
Yeah, but that's more of
Cades-
like a bad cater. But if he's saying like if there's a really experienced cater and there's never a scenario where the base prop, which is used to prevent the zombies from going in the cave, all the caters do is just replace the props, and they just keep doing that and keep doing that.
What the fuck do you want them to do?
Well, I can see why he says that because when I play as a zombie, I kind of see like it feels like you're Sisyphus, where you're just pushing a boulder up a rock.
Welcome to
Because
ZS.
you're just basically destroying a prop and immediately a new prop, and basically it's just
that's the way the game's balanced right now because of the way Wave 6 works.
That's the way the game's always been balanced. I mean, let's be real here. Like
it's never been always balanced like that, Drew, because previously in old ZS, we can see this with classic ZS. If a prop breaks, it flungs around.
That's because
It's harder
props
to
are
replace
finite on a
props.
map. It's because of prop transponder existing, but prop transponder has to exist for higher pop. Like
Well,
it is
okay,
second
whoa, whoa,
necessary.
whoa. Now we're talking about really complex balance things
okay,
that are.
I'm sorry.
You're
I'm
throwing
sorry.
out some wrongs there.
Yeah.
There's a prop transponder. I don't know why it was added. I'll be real here. I don't really know why it was added, but it is something that we do balance around with the game mode, and it is something that's always a consideration. I don't know exactly how it determines how many props are on every map, but it is something that's always, or not always, but it's been a part of the game mode for years now, and it's something that's been in our sights as like a consideration for at least total Cade health. Now, I think the problem with Wave 6, and something that I would like to do instead of trying to hit barricaders harder or whatever, is make zombies better. You know, like, knockback on melee weapons was untapered for such a long time, and melee knockback on zombies sucks. It is something that prevents them from hitting the Cade. We've already made some good improvements towards that, but I'm not sure we're 100% there, and I'm going to continue to find cases where it's too strong, and I'm going to fix
Drew,
them.
True. I feel like the difference though between Wave 5 and Wave 6 power in zombies is just
I
like
agree with that,
astronomical.
and that is something that I do want to fix.
Yeah.
And that leads into the whole okay. So
Can I just say, well, as a side
tangent
tangent before I shut up about this, I will say that ZS has always kind of been balanced around Wave 5 to Wave 6 power spike, which I think is kind of stupid. But
I disagree. I don't think it's been balanced around that. But the issue that we've had and with Wave 6 and Wave 5 is that we have all these new evolutions. I mean, some zombies, they go from 5 to 6. They can just skip the Wave 6 zombie because they just buy evolution. They go straight from like a Wave 5 class to a Wave 7 class. That is 2 levels of increased health that they're getting, new abilities and all that.
Didn't we fix that with evolution?
I think evolution.
We actually didn't. There's actually a bug with evolution right now, but I don't want to talk about that because I'm going to just fix it. I'm just going to fix it. Don't abuse
Again.
it.
I'm starting to think maybe sources of this is a side tangent. Just like sort of evolution, probably, or just
Wow, we've almost been going on for about 2 hours now. Just a reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could.
So- I want to finish off this thought. I'm sorry.
Well, we
So-
take questions at the moment.
We definitely do need to look at zombie evolutions in general, because I think this hasn't been talked about, but like what waves things scale up at and like how big those gaps are. And Kevdu's done a lot of progress on that.
I did. I want to
yeah.
mention it, but I mean, I've been like, it's taken a long time because you're mentioning health scaling and everything, but I mean, like you said, like it's not good to use the raw data because I noticed with some evolutions, supposedly they're losing health. Like I looked at it for the head crab where they're getting increased wave per health, and then all of a sudden their evolution just gives them less health. I've been trying to it's really difficult to like really monitor this because it's mainly like I have to look at live and pay attention to my health, but I noticed that a few evolutions like for some reason like you just lose health and it's like a downgrade. And then
Yeah.
some evolutions, like I noticed for the let me pull up the graph I have.
And this kind of ties into like the health
Frigid Revenant.
multiplier.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't tie into the health. Where are you getting that from, Gorm?
I'm talking
I-
about like how certain classes get a more inflated health pool than what it's supposed to be based on the health multiplier. But that's
There's no
that's a different thing.
multiplier. There's no multiplier.
There is.
I
It's
don't-
2.5 times. I spoke.
I
to
could
Rock
I
about it.
could see
What?
okay.
Yeah.
So some zombies
It's
do
why Breach
have,
Prowler had 4K HP.
let me talk about this, but I looked at it. Some zombies
You didn't know
don't
that?
have a wave per health increase.
I'm so sorry, Drew.
It's not in the base health scaling code. That's the problem. Why is it
Yeah,
not
I
in the
know
base-
it's somewhere. Like I said, it's somewhere in the
Probably-
code that's
The issue that I have with that, Gorm, is that I tested these values and my math, and it was dead on accurate.
yeah.
So I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where you're getting that
I
from.
spoke to Riox about this, and I was like, "Why are?"
Did you say
like,
Breach Prowler?
Yes,
That's a demi boss. It gets boss scaling. That's what
yes,
you're
I
thinking
know,
about.
but I'm talking
You almost
about.
don't get that.
Gorma. We're swaying away, but
Okay, I'll speak to you about.
I'll
this later.
tell. I wanted to mention this, but I noticed I was keeping track, and one of the zombies that had my biggest concern was the
Head crab.
frigid ghoul,
Oh yeah, the frigid ghoul. Oh god.
because I noticed for the frigid ghoul. Wait, where is this? Let me see. I'm trying to read through this again. Just wait. I haven't seen this in a while.
Yeah, sorry for keeping you poof. We this is something that has gone on in the background for a bit. We've been talking about it, so
I know, it's alright. I'm comfortable.
All right.
I'm pretty comfortable too.
Okay, you know what? Just I need to delete this like Val.
Yeah,
shit.
so I was looking and I noticed that the two zombies that had the highest percentage health increase when they go from a wave 5 or a wave 6 to a wave 7 evolution, I noticed zombies like the Shadow Walker can go potentially up 33% of its health.
Yeah.
And then for a poison zombie can go up to 40% of its health.
Yeah.
And I looked at it for something like a head crab just loses health. And it's just
There's something weird going
there's
on
a
with
lot of
HP scaling.
zombies that
So I know
have an
exactly what's going on with
inconsistent
HP
health
scaling,
stuff.
Gorm.
And I this is something that I need to discuss behind the lines with like Drew because there's more stuff related to the health, but I want to look into some of the zombies like the poison zombie and also specifically the ice fiend because those are getting insane amounts of health and they're giving a lot of
Yeah, they get like 3.5k life.
yeah, I've seen people post clips and they show that the alpha poison zombie gets more health than a demi boss.
It's so
And
Oh
it
yeah,
is
no, it gets
not
like
good.
it gets like 4,000 health. I
Yeah,
know exactly
that
why
is
that
that
happens.
late game and it has that and we need to look into that.
It's
but-
why I had to hit the health pool for the breach prowler so hard because it was supposed to be like a glass
Oh my
cannon in the
God.
late game.
Gorm, I can have a long discussion with you about how boss scaling works and how demi bosses double dip in both normal scaling and boss.
Yeah,
type
it shouldn't
scaling.
work like that. I don't know why it works like that. Weird.
Discussion for another time.
There's no questions
Do we want to
really
take? People,
anymore.
do we want to bring people up on stage, or has this gone on for too long? know
I have two power questions, which
Power.
These are the most frequently asked questions that I noticed from everyone, but I feel like I want to talk a bit more on a demi-boss bar, which I think Drew would like to talk about that as well,
Mm.
because those are some high demand questions that I noticed.
I think it just yeah.
Did you even mention a demi-boss bar at
We
all?
did. We brought
I
it up.
thought it was a
I
big
didn't
one.
get to talk on it at length.
We didn't talk about it fully. We just mentioned it.
So
I think it's yeah.
it is something that is interesting. I have a bit of an intro for this. I didn't sort of prepare how I would serve this up, but so there's a lot of things about the dark market that people do like, and it is a question. We can implement the demi boss bar without removing the dark market. It is something that can they could coexist, but it would mean that we're replacing the dark market or the dark essence currency. Or we're adding a secondary currency that would be for demi bosses for the bar, and dark essence would be another thing. And I think that
that's unnecessary.
it would be complicated, right? And that would be a little unnecessary. Yeah, it would.
Look, when people say they want a bar, they just want a visual bar to see when they can get demi boss. You could easily just add that and keep the dark essence as a score thing, anyways.
I don't know. Like, do they
I
want
talked
that?
with this about Gorma, anyways. Like right now, it's a
UI
pain.
issue.
Is it a UI issue?
It's
I
a
thought
pain to be a demi boss
genuinely-
because you have to press
Yeah.
like 3 buttons.
Yeah,
So-
and what I suggested was like in the dark market, there should just always be a button at the top when you have enough
Yeah.
dark essence that
You
can
could have
apply.
in the dark market a lovely bar at the top, and you just click one button or press something, and straight away just spawn.
Well,
as
didn't we have a
demi-boss.
demi boss like thing? We had it in the classes. There was like a class menu, and then like you could click on the demi boss, and it would try to buy it from the dark market for you, right?
Yeah, that's in the Senate class selection, but I don't know.
It doesn't work.
Maybe it doesn't
Like
work.
half the time.
I don't know
Okay,
why you
let me
removed
it. No, we
no.
removed it. It was
Let me
removed.
explain myself. It's really weird because like sometimes you'll like click it while dead, and then it will just eat your
Okay.
dark essence.
Well, okay, that's just a bug then.
There was an issue I noticed. I noticed that you removed that bind and demi boss through the class selection was removed when
Yeah, it
you
was
removed bodyguards. That was the time when it was
Oh wait,
removed.
it was removed.
It was removed. Yeah, it's commented out right now.
When you
What?
remove the
Who did that?
bodyguards, you also remove the buying the demi bosses through the class selection.
Me?
Yes, you
Yeah.
did remove it.
I actually looked
I
through
don't
the
remember.
grids for this recently, so I mean, I could try re-enabling that. I thought it was removed for a reason, though.
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
didn't Pooflet mention there was a bug with it? That's why. And
Yeah,
also,
probably.
I think Drew, you need to do this, please, because this is an issue that people are doing and exploiting. They're stacking over 3 of the same demi
I
bosses.
know.
Don't
It's something
mention
that
that!
God
happened.
forbid 3. Oh, that one.
Everyone
I fixed
knows
that.
this, Gorma.
But no, it wasn't fixed.
It's
something
never
Okay, I
fixed.
fixed something else then. I fixed
Look,
one of them.
I know it's something that needs to be fixed. I would really appreciate if somebody else could help me out with this one, but if we really want to tie me down doing this bug fix, I can dedicate the time.
I'll have to maybe once the event's over, I can
Yeah.
probably help you look into it.
You bastards are overworking Drew, and I don't appreciate it.
But it's like,
Yeah.
no, it's my own fault too, because I see big things and I'm like, oh, I
Oh.
want to take that on, and I take on everything, and I know too much about the game mode at this point.
I mean, I think
Glitch.
I think I'm gonna do the fix that I did for Classic, where I had Shade disabled, but people still had Shade selected, so you still went for that class. I'll do something that if the count of the class is high enough to the point that you can't select it anymore, it'll shift you to a different class. Then, so in essence, you spent 1,500 Dark Essence for the class that you wanted. Sorry, it's already max cap. You're gonna get a different class from now on.
And don't forget, it's like with like zombie balance and everything, it's person to person.
Either
But
way,
I think it's the only other proper solution, because the other way is to like hold the
Whoa.
player off from respawning, but that's not a really good idea. I'd
No,
rather
you continue to spawn them as a normal, but they're queued in that they purchased it, and then
I mean,
they'll get it. And, they
Q-
can.
Mm.
I wonder if that's like Gloomwalker
Queue
for a bit.
system will be a little bit iffy in that case. It's gonna be a lot more iffy.
It's
Let's
not-
be honest.
No, because we already have a claiming demi boss thing. We just use that. To,
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Well, yeah, we'll figure.
Just wait
it
till they
out.
start sacking Gloomwalker.
But if we want to fix a bug immediately, I think that's one of the solutions that we have to.
Have
do.
you seen that, Drew?
I don't want to. I don't want to
Where
hear
3
about
people
it.
stack
No,
No, I
Gloomwalkers
don't
and they
want
just
to.
kill someone instantly?
No, I don't want to hear about it. I really don't. I know the Gloomwalker is really strong. It's one of
I
the
love
things on
stacking
my
it
list.
with people in
It's
doorways.
on my
and killing
list,
someone.
Gorm. It's on my list.
No, it needs to stay in the game. It's good.
Are you getting a rise out of this?
I mean, I do think
Yeah,
Wing Walker is
Gorma's
cool, though.
Gorma's evil.
All right, so another power question that I noticed from a lot of people is more related to the alchemy stuff, and they want to know what's like the future of alchemy.
What is the future of alchemy? That is a good question. I mean, that's more of a question for Rayox.
Well,
You have anything you want to say about it?
I mean,
Pooflet, Drew?
I could mention. Well, alchemy initially started just as another one of my experiments to see if I could do it, and it was supposed to replicate the old crafting system ZS used to have, but make it, I guess, give it more depth now that we have inventory and trinkets and stuff. So that was about it. But the problem was, it was initially designed with the idea that everything would be hidden, just like how it was on old ZS. But then we ended up having like over 150 recipes, loads of weapons and stuff, and then people didn't like that you had to have open an Excel sheet to play the game. So I had to do a lot of changes in a short period of time to just keep up with what people actually wanted. Crafting system, like the UI and everything, it was built with the idea of you just, discovering recipes. I don't think the UI suits it anymore for its purpose. If everything's just going to be public, I think it's a nightmare to navigate. It's got the nice search bars and everything, but it's just a pain to find what you want. Unless you know exactly, then you can search it. But I don't know. I think React is already doing a good job with it. The UI stuff, I don't know.
Did we ever change
I don't mind doing UI stuff, but I know the other devs don't really. They try to avoid doing UI
I am
stuff.
horrible at UI. The only UI contribution I made was the voice menu.
I personally,
was
I've always
nightmare.
loved doing all the UI.
That's wonderful.
It is my fault that I did leave it in that state for the others to pick up now. Because I'm not entirely happy with how I left it, but that's just how it is.
Well, my whole thing is like, alchemy wasn't something that I was super interested in. Like, I didn't really have time to play with it before it was like, oh god, it's like somebody's making 50
It was supposed to
serrate
be
flasks.
seasonal, to be honest.
Well, yeah, and then you have issues where, like, apparently you can get basically a tier 2 weapon wave 1 instantly with alchemy. I don't know if that ever got changed.
You do that anyways. What do you mean?
Well, I meant like the first minute of wave 1.
You can get a tier 6 in 2 minutes.
You don't.
Oh, can you craft the war axe?
Yes.
Oh no, keep that.
No, you need the extra stuff.
Keep that. It's soul. It's so soul.
Yeah, but one of the no, you can't do that anyways. Like one of the rules was you can't make weapons just by buying stuff. So that works.
There's some combination where you can get a tier 2 literally the minute the wave 1 starts.
Yeah, you get somebody to
it's
feed
a
you a second war
gaslight.
axe.
They're lying.
It's
to you.
not a
It's hoax.
gaslight. I forgot what it was. I haven't looked at it recently.
It's an old wives' tale, Gorm. It's not real.
Well, I did bring up that this might be very strong. It might need to have some other balance tweaks with it because something like broadside. I mean, if I could get broadside on my great knife, I am so taking that. Or not broadside. Volatile. I am taking volatile, dude. I am turning into a chain killing machine. That's gonna be nuts. I should make a fish that gives volatile.
It gives you the healer the stack, right?
Yeah.
So why would volatile be useful for like medic? It must be like awesome meleeing. Why does it work?
I'm pretty sure what Drew was talking about is like on like chef, because like if
don't
chef's
you
doing
even dare,
healing-
CJ.
Well, chef is a very touchy subject. I don't think we should mention it here.
No, we can talk about it, but the whole point is that like it gives you combat stacks.
Yeah.
You are going to use them to hurt people, You're gonna use them to do like damage.
Hey, look, Scott.
And I mean,
Scott.
Well,
and I mean,
And you can still use them with the medic guns in the game, Gorm.
yeah. And I think the thing
And
is,
the diviner.
yeah,
yes.
it's a. I mean, is singing charm meant to be this thing? Because I mean, isn't it meant to be that like it gives you the stacks and that augments your healing?
I don't know who worked on that.
Wasn't that the intention for it? Yes. So if you have singing chime, it augments the actual like function of the stacks themselves. So and it changes them from augmenting your damage to augmenting your healing. You
I mean,
can't
it
have
already
both.
it augments both right now. I wouldn't want
Yeah,
to
but-
change that.
yeah,
I wouldn't want to
but-
remove that because it makes. I think singing chime's a really interesting trinket. I really like it because it does encourage you to do both. It is a trinket that is dedicated to supporting hybrid play styles like the chef, and I like that. But I feel like adding volatile, it's like that is a really strong trinket or a stack to have.
Yeah.
Volatile
know.
metronome.
It kind of maybe it just needs a higher requirement to proc it. Maybe that would be enough.
Wait. Does Lich Staff purge its volatile stacks when you switch from it? Oh, okay. Good. Sorry, that was an intrusive thought.
Do we have any more questions, by the way?
Sometimes you want
Yeah,
to
do we have
let
any more
those
questions?
intrusive thoughts stay.
I mean, Scott's here right now, but
Well, we already answered all the mapping stuff.
Well, actually, the mapping thing wasn't really answered.
Didn't we actually have
it
to
wasn't.
tiptoe
Yeah,
around?
well,
enough.
as we just said, Scott does it.
Yeah, we had to tiptoe
Yeah,
around
do
that
it.
because Scott wasn't there.
Yeah.
Hi, Scott.
Hi, Scott.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I handle the maps.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's
That's what we
what
all
we
said.
Hot
said.
stream, we're good.
There you go. Question answered.
Scott, for reference, people want to know about like map control
Give a
quality.
proper reason to remove a map, and I can handle it.
One word, Pavartal.
If it's just like, oh, it's not shit, please remove it. No.
Do we still have hard maps, like rewards for hard maps, or
Well,
did we get rid of
Scott's
that?
sick right now.
The thing about the rewards, Gorma, is that you need the map to be less than 13% win rate, and the average win rate of the map is way above that percentage. Gorma.
We need to make
way
hard
above.
maps.
Except mine.
Way above.
Mine
We need to make
are
hard maps.
Mine
No,
are hard.
Gorm, the win rate of a map is something that fluctuates wildly because it is. How many times do we play a map consecutive? Like you play a map, then it goes locked, and then you play it
I
again.
know
like,
that's why I'm saying
in a
we
week
need
or so.
we need like
That's
hard
a
like
problem.
maps that are made to be hard.
Well, just last night, I'd like to say that it's hard to determine if a map is bad or not through win rate, because last night I released a new map, and it's meant for Classic. It's tons of windows. We went from a Wave 1 wipe to a Wave 6 win with 50% of humans alive.
Well, yeah, that's
Like,
just the variability
that's
that's in the
just
game.
like-
now.
playable.
That's
the
why you need to play a
entire-
map like 200 times to really get a solid.
So what you're saying is we need to
bearing on
get
it.
like a quantum computer to simulate 5,000 rounds of ZS on one map.
You need to simulate the human mind first, Gorm. I don't think it's going to happen unless you develop some new metrics for what
ZS
makes
players
a
don't
map
have
hard.
brain.
That's what I said. Short of
You
a
have
quantum,
brains.
short of a quantum
I think you have
computer
brains.
crunching
Thank you.
this, it's not going to be feasible to do in a quick manner.
Yeah, there's a difference because some people say there's a map that's worse and
I have an idea.
unbalanced, but then
It's subjective.
there's some
though.
maps play better in high pop, some better in low
Abdu,
pop.
listen,
Really,
we need a
fluctuates.
hard mapping contest, a map that has like 4 entrances per
Gorma,
sigil.
now is not the
Oh, okay, I
time.
think we're getting off track. So
Okay.
do we have another segment? Are we going to bring people on or?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I
Unless
think
we have
we're
a.
Yeah.
I mean,
Unless we
could
They
have-
want to talk about
town,
Lich. They want to talk about
No.
Lich.
No more.
Okay.
Unless we have Guts and Monkey.
Oh, yeah.
no.
Do you want to bring them? Do you want to bring them on?
No.
Are you
People
sure?
demand a gladiator match.
You have
Oh yeah, they need to be in a gladiator. You're right. They need to fight to the death.
It is tradition. It is Sunrise tradition that those two battle on stage
It's still here.
for my
It's
entertainment.
like watching the monkey versus monkey in Simpsons.
Wow. This monkey even
Are they here?
Monkey mentioned that he
I
might
don't
not
think
make it.
Monkey. I don't think those
Okay.
two are here.
Oh,
But
that's a shame. Well, I don't think we have any more questions then. And how long have we been going on for? Jesus.
2 hours?
Goddamn.
Yeah, my leg kind of hurts from sitting in this position for so long.
Wait, are you actually sitting in that position?
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yes, what the fuck?
Oh no. No.
Wait.
I am
Peter,
fully
didn't you know
tracked
that?
here.
Huh?
Didn't you know that he's got full body tracking?
No.
What do you mean?
Yes,
What do you mean?
You didn't know
No.
that. You didn't know that?
No.
No, nobody fucking knew.
What? How do you
What
not
would your
know?
parents think?
How did you
Oh
What would
my
your parents
god,
think?
Drew.
It's common knowledge. This is common
You thought that was a bit? It's not a bit.
Now we know
Oh,
he
real.
has a
I
VR
thought you
chat.
real.
okay, no. I thought you were using like locomotion, faking the whole position. No, it's actually fucking real,
yes,
like
yes,
No, this
full
is
body.
real, bro.
Oh my god.
Bro, this is
Oh,
real.
no.
This is real.
Okay,
Oh my
no. That's it. I'm
Let's
literally
calm down a
removing that
bit.
update. It's been a massive mistake. I'm sorry. Everyone's getting refunded.
Alright.
Sorry, Scott.
We
You
ever
and
did
Gorma
as
are
developers. Like,
divorced.
what are you?
You both are officially divorced now.
Thank
Well,
God.
No,
not
no.
happening.
He's not
Alright.
wrong.
I feel bad for
He's wrong,
Pooflick
no.
because he has to
He
hold
is
that
wrong.
position too.
Oh god, why did you ever wear that?
What?
The bunny suit. Why did Drew ever wear that on camera?
What's wrong with the bunny suit?
Can we mute Gorm?
Did you not see the people in the chat?
Can we mute Gorm?
So
You all want to silence a person who has. He makes sense.
What
Let
is
him cook.
that? That's our new skeletal crawler class. I need that. I'm saving.
Let him cook.
Okay.
He's
by
not
the
afraid to ask
way, since
questions.
we're like
Okay.
at the near end of the Q&A, I think I should leave this to P-Town and Xerxes talking about their outside of the ZS server stuff, like maybe.
Oh, did they not talk
poker.
about it?
Well,
What?
I thought they were gonna leave it to them, weren't they?
Oh, I thought they already. Well, I've got dementia. I thought we
They-
talked about it.
Not
they,
again.
they like talked about it a bit, but I think they wanted to talk about it a bit more at the end. Is that right?
Well, if they have anything else to say, I'm tired now.
I'm
Are
tired.
you
yeah.
talking about the PvP thing?
Oh, the PvP battle.
Or
yes,
poker?
okay. The poker update, it's out. It's working fine.
that's
I
done. That's already done.
fixed a nasty bug that decided that apparently PVS entities, client-side entities, are not being created successfully in cinema. I don't know why, but I had to do a force. I had to do a force fix. Now it's completely fixed.
So P-Town dealt with that this
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah, it was literally 5 a.m. coding trying to fix this stupid shit. Okay. The PvP battle is gonna happen in about 40 minutes from now because I do need to do some final changes. We need to make sure that all the maps aren't missing textures because we do not want to tell you download TF2 right now because
Just get Day of Defeat. Just get Day
What?
of Defeat.
no, we're not
Word?
fucking down. We're not fucking forcing
CJ,
people.
shush.
We're not forcing people to download 7 different source games just to play a fucking game mode that's gonna last
The only
4
one-
minutes.
The only one that should ever
minutes.
be the only one that should ever be needed is Counter-Strike Source, and that's only because Zombie Survival already requires that. Like that's
Did
just
you,
it's just normal for Gary's mod that everyone should already have Counter-Strike
P-Town,
Source.
did you ever
installed.
announce what you're fixing next?
Okay, I'm gonna fix next after PvP battles. After PvP battle, I'll be fixing virus and maybe oh, fucking shut up, Gorma. Holy fucking shit! I'm gonna fucking murder you. Okay, I'm sorry. I let that anger went out.
No, it's okay, dude. We all reached that point. It happens.
It's not that annoying. Holy fuck.
Okay, I'll do fix in a later year or in a later whatever it is. Ball race,
Breathe.
either ball race or mini golf. One of the
There
two
you go.
game modes.
Yeah.
One of the two game modes. But right now, I want to finish PvP battle, then virus, then actually work on classic because I have not touched classic in about weeks. And there is a lot of stuff to do in Classic to this day, and I basically ignored it because Gorma here wanted me to work in the fucking Hema Tower game modes. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'll bring back Gmod Tower as a whole and call
Okay,
it
dude,
Sun
Sunrust
Hub.
Tower.
Sun Hub.
Serious talk.
Sun Hub.
Serious talk though. The
Sunrust
people, in
Tower.
the people in the chat saying I'm being very childish. I'm supposed to bring like levity to these fucking conversations so people have fun. So how about instead of telling me I don't know what I'm fucking doing?
Get him.
Whippy, I'm one of the GMT developers. Magni guy can actually suck my cock, and I will literally wipe his seats. I will literally. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this publicly. I will literally wipe my ass off. I will literally wipe his cease and desist letter with my ass off. How about that? I don't really care about. I really don't give a shit about it. He's
That's
an
actually
asshole.
real lore, by the way.
He's an asshole.
He sends cease and desist to people who host those game modes.
The artwork is starting to make a lot more sense, P-Town.
I guess we got a lawyer up now.
He doesn't have any legal ground. He's literally using stolen assets.
He literally has no legal
grab my
ground. Oh, Astronauts. Okay, Astronauts, April 1st.
Shit, does that work?
That's all I'm going to
What?
say. April 1st, Astronauts.
This all has fizz bones. You can mess with it.
That's an April Fool's joke.
No. It's real. No, it's real. It's official. April 1st, Astronauts.
Wait, do people actually think I'm not like joking half the time? Oh, okay.
It's an official
does this work?
Remember, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
You're right. I'm not
careful
standing
there.
for it.
Careful. Okay.
Dude, you have a guy playing with someone's hair on stream, but I'm not allowed to be funny.
Well,
also, I'm
Like,
getting
come on.
closer and closer to just like knocking out. I'm like sleeping here.
What would your
No.
parents think if they caught you in that position?
well,
They'd probably
I
be
live on
like,
my own. It's none of their business.
Imagine your parents walk in. What would they think?
I live on
That's
my
weird,
own.
CJ.
They're not going to. And you know what? I think my parents would be very proud of me.
What?
Of course they would. Have you seen me?
Yeah. No, honestly.
God damn.
You found a provider.
I can provide too.
Is there anything
True.
you wanna?
An experienced man in his
You know
life.
what I mean.
well,
All I'm saying is if you don't like my personality, then you're probably like a corpse or something. I don't know.
The longer this goes on, the more dangerous this is getting. So
okay.
I
Let's
agree.
wrap this
we're
up.
flying
Let's
off the handle.
wrap
So
let's
far.
wrap this up. We have a.
Is there anything you want to say, Xerxes, Zen, Firestorm?
And since you mentioned it, Kevdu, there is going to be an audit on player models, voice lines, all that. So if there are any changes in the future to those, everyone just be aware. We're going to be cleaning shit up, file sizes, broken hitboxes, things like that. That's all going to be getting fixed in the near future.
And the height of some models.
Oh, yes,
Well,
definitely the height.
Yeah.
Legion, if you're here, they found out about the 70 megabyte models. I'm sorry, I mean the 70
I already
megabyte
know.
texture.
I already know.
It's too late. It's over. It's over. It's over. The
Alright,
14 texture.
Not only
Wait,
that,
Is
we also found out about your guys' favorite player models with the color modifications. Those are being looked into, so be aware.
Oh
look
my
at
God.
that pigtail.
Yeah, we had people that didn't know what mono and stereo were in terms of sound, so I don't know what.
Okay, that's bucket. No, that's
No, that's not.
Yeah.
We will look into the file sizes, player colors, so we know those like pitch black player models that you're using to hide. We
Did somebody
know
mute
about those.
CJ?
What?
Time him out. Time him
CJ's
out.
like talking about X
There you
videos
go.
or something, but I'm
Time
not
him
allowed to be funny.
CJ, I will beat your ass to a pulp.
Okay.
I'm timing him out right now. You're getting done, dude.
Okay. Back to the models. Back to models. What
Fuck
we're
is
talking
muting?
about.
I mentioned
Please.
I'll fucking
Alright,
battle
I'm
you in our team.
Oh my god.
We're gonna have so many moments. Like, please, let us go.
Okay.
I was losing my mind. It's too hot in my room.
Kevdu, keep going, please.
I mean, more of Xerxes can talk about it because I don't want to speak for Xerxes.
Okay.
So basically going forward, I'm basically taking on like before any player models are getting added, everything's going to be reviewed, and nothing is getting added without a proper review. So don't going to people like requesting player models like expecting it to be added, because there's no expectation it's going to be reviewed, and if it's up to snuff, then it'll be added. If not, you might be asked to, like if you've made the model, oh, can you fix this or that, and fix it, then it will be potentially added. So just keep that in mind. And I'm going to be like you can ask Firestorm or Kevdu, they'll be bringing it to me. I'm basically the one who's going to be fully reviewing everything.
This is going to be the end of the part where people are sending in models and then they get declined by one person and then they send it to another developer. Now this time it's going to be filtered through Xerxes because there have been incidents where players have been giving player models to one developer such as me, and then I say no, and then they bring it to Firestorm, and then they add their favorite anime model because they went to a different developer.
Why the hell do we have
no
like
longer
20
going to happen?
Why do we have like
through
20
Xerxes.
anime models that are all small?
I think can't make up for this.
It's going to be the end of the Gaslight too. So if you're going to say any player model, oh, it's not too small, that's going to be the end of it. We're not going to have any more incidents of having more models that are tiny. No more of that. It's the end of it.
Yep.
End
Also,
of
no more,
any
like,
tiny
80
anime
megabyte
models. End of all of that.
You heard that, bros. No more Among Us model. It's dead. It's
I
forever.
never said anything about anime models.
Shrimp is saying we're keeping
shrimp.
Okay, let me specify. Okay, I'm going to be serious for a second here. Let me specify this. And they're not saying that they're going to be against a specific type of model. They're just trying to say that the quality of the model will be up to par to everything else. So there's no advantages.
This
that's
is
just anime model.
I am saying this is there's most of the time it's the tiny ones.
Wait, also touching on it. If you're going to be submitting voice lines, make sure that when you format them, you format them with the name of the voice event and then like the number in terms of like the file name, and make sure they are mono.
And also the length of the audio.
Yes, make sure that like the actual length of the duration does not go over, say, 4 or 5 seconds. Like that's just
6 seconds. 6 seconds.
Let's say 6 seconds.
We have found a few models with voice lines that are 10 seconds or even a minute, and that'll be the end of that.
Who added that?
Isn't there like
partially my fault, my fault, but also a few other people.
Yeah, your 1 minute long Freddy Fazbear emo. Good job, Kevin. Good job.
That is partially my fault, but now we're gonna be more strict on
Also, I mean, when I designed the system, I was like, we're not gonna weight these voice lines. They will play and randomly, completely randomly. Not gonna have any like duplicating the line to make certain ones more frequent. I don't like that. I know that the Freddy Fazbear one has that. Yes, the Freddy Fazbear has one because it has a rare voice line.
And also the Rick one as well, I think.
What?
The Rick model, like it has like rare voice lines. You said
you can't just set
but they're not very long. They're just like 6 seconds.
No, it's not. It's not about that. Like Drew's going on about like in principle, like the system wasn't intended for that to be a thing.
Yes, I like it. No, absolutely not. I don't want them weighted. That's the whole point. I want variety.
That's fine.
I guess. All right.
I only did that once, but that's fine.
I know. Like that's fine as an exception, but I'm just saying when you send in a voice pack, don't expect things to be weighted a certain way. Design them so that it's refreshing to hear all the voice lines, and like if you want something to be rare, add more voice lines. I don't know. Like,
well, I mean, we should probably go over a bunch of things that don't have multiple pain sounds on, like Peter just doing the same.
I can't believe that those were added. I'm going to be honest. Like, I didn't accept anything that had under 3 pain sounds. We'll talk about it later. I think that we could make new guidelines for that. But this is just getting long. It's getting really warm in here. I just.
There's not much we can do in retrospect, but going forward, definitely we can
fix it. We can fix it.
Christ, it is roasting in here.
Yeah. Wearing VR, it's not like, especially with all the gear on. Like,
Drew isn't the same person when he enters VR.
Oh, another thing.
I am the same person.
Sorry, another thing. We are not going to be having like multiple variants of the same model. Those are going to be body groups. If you want like a model to have variants, they're going to be body groups. We're not going to have like 50 fucking like of like one anime girl and then like a summer variant or a Christmas variant. We're not doing that. Those are going to be body groups going forward.
So
wait, what about the vampire Miku? That's a completely different model.
You can't have different models like that though. You can't. Sometimes you can't
Yeah.
make them.
But I mean, like,
I think Drew's asking specifically like the vampire Halloween.
Yeah, she has different bones,
Oh.
different bone structure. That wouldn't work out.
That's a different model altogether.
I mean, in that case, then yeah. But if it's like,
No.
I've seen some models are just.
I just want to be careful about adding like bloke, because if it's possible to have it as, what's what?
Sorry.
No.
There we go.
As in, if it's possible, I don't want to add like duplicates. Because I know some people have been wanting to add like. Some people have been wanting to add models that are basically the same as models that already exist on the server, and I just want to avoid any of that.
Also, well, actually, I guess we solved this. There's no reason for me to bring this up. Never mind.
Yeah. So, are we good here, guys? Like,
Is there any?
What?
What? Sack daggers.
I like sack dagger. It's understandable. ZS isn't a full-time job. It's supposed to be.
By the way, Poofla.
Is it not?
My second full-time job.
Do we even need to worry about roamer bounties? Roamers aren't really a thing anymore.
Oh, I think this is a discussion we could have
Fireside.
later.
Another time, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Pooflet's about to fall over dead at his computer.
Pooflet.
I'm gonna like fall
it's
asleep here, like I'm saying.
roasting.
I've been like, yeah, and we both have heat generating headsets on our heads right now. So,
Hey, Pooflet. By the way, Monkey's
Yes,
here
sir.
if you want.
I don't. I'm so tired, man.
yeah.
I'm so tired.
So no.
Then we need
Give
guts
me
here.
Yeah, you need
we have guts
here.
in the.
Can't just have one.
We
No,
could have.
okay.
We could have. We could have
Guts
a
is here.
guts
Guts is here.
alternative.
If
Guts
they
is
join
here.
right now,
Monkey
sure.
and guts are right here.
But I want to wrap this up. I'm baking in here.
Is guts here?
I love
No.
CS so much.
Thank you.
Oh boy. Okay, where's guts? Now we need guts.
Like, oh boy, what did I ever do?
Okay, esteemed
Hey, you're
members
not
of our
allowed to-
community.
Oh boy.
Who said, "Oh boy"? Who said that?
That was
Norman's such a
Scott.
fucking hater.
I did not say oh boy.
You
Are you
just
gaslighting
did,
me?
Because
You
every
were
time,
actually-
every time he
actually
comes
insane.
here, every time he comes here, someone says, "Oh boy."
Who
Yeah.
said, "Oh boy"?
I think
Oh,
we
I
need
think
Maya
you
and
should
Guts
just
to
say
fight.
no.
Esteemed
Maya?
members of our community,
Maya and
thank you
Guts.
for
Hell no,
joining
I
us.
don't want to be in the middle of that.
How does
have your
fighting
discussion.
reflect on the community? Like,
Hey,
come
where's
on.
Guts? Where's Guts?
Guts.
What's in here?
Where is he?
Maya and
Guts
Guts.
was right here.
Get him on the goddamn voice.
Did he just go AFK? This motherfucker.
Hey,
What a
I got
pussy.
someone.
He's got 1 minute before.
Oh, we're back. We're so
Poochie's a
back.
guts
Oh,
alternative.
that's Poochie.
He's
It's all
Oh,
over.
dude,
Hey,
Poochie's-
Oh my god, I just want to talk about Lich.
Drew, by the way,
No.
this next fireside. What
I don't know.
No.
do you mean you
I
don't?
don't know.
I thought you had a plan.
We need a break, damn it.
Fine, I'll fucking make a fireside chat. I don't care.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually like that because it's
No, I got an idea.
More
I'll get hacked
more
again.
in-depth conversations.
But what would I
versus-
call it?
I'll click another fishy link and do another fireside. How about that?
Thank God.
Fire.
Thank God.
You don't want to go
I'm
to
so
CJ's fire
excited
chat.
for CJ to fight Maurice again. Let's
I
go.
think a lot of people missed the last CJ fireside, so I think we should do it again. Run it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, should we
What are
wrap
we
this
doing here,
up?
bro? Yeah, I think we should
I
wrap
think it's
this
time
up.
to wrap it
Ask
up,
the question.
everyone.
Ask the
No more-
question.
Okay.
I'm not gonna ask it. They're gonna kill me.
Ask the question.
They're gonna kill me.
I won't tell you. Just ask it.
Come on, Monkey.
Can we both Lich?
This is insane.
Monkey, what is it?
He's gonna get banned from this Discord, isn't he? He's gonna ask something he shouldn't.
Monkey, what is it?
I think we should increase Arsenal.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We already spoke about that.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was just a bad time to do it, and like I don't know.
We should still probably do it.
Maybe.
So should we save Lich for Fireside then?
I know what I'm doing to Lich, Pucci. It's not going to be anything too huge. I just think like the dashes probably need to get reduced, and maybe there needs to be a cool
I sped
and
up the
or
dash, by the way. That
thank
was
you,
my
Gorm.
fault.
And or he needs a cooldown after he dashes before he can spawn.
No,
his
no, no.
zombies. I think that's important.
Drew, I'll just say
Mhm.
this. I think I want to do this, but when he uses his spawning ability, it doesn't put a cooldown immediately. It only happens when he after summons them. So you could pre-charge the right click, dash, and then you immediately teleport them.
Yeah,
And then add a cooldown.
that's the thing that I want to fix. You know.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah,
add the
yeah, that's
cooldown.
dumb.
That's what
It's
I was
actually
gonna do,
dumb.
but there needs to be a cooldown, so you can't spawn and then dash. So then you just go to someone and then immediately 8 zombies, millisecond reaction.
All this talk about Lich, talk about Sigilite, and see how it is.
Oh my!
No,
Dude,
talk
we're
about
getting
shame.
caught. We're getting caught up. We need to go.
Uh-huh.
We need to solve this. I gotta cook dinner.
Fireside win.
I think we can just call it here, guys.
At some point there'll be a fireside. Yes, I cook.
Let's go.
All right,
We
Drew,
cooking in here.
do your thing with Poof.
Wait, huh?
What thing?
You're gonna
Kiss,
cook dinner
kiss,
for him.
kiss. Oh shit! Never mind.
What? Guys!
Oh, you must be else. Oh my god.
This is 2 human beings. They're not like fucking comedy props.
Are they though? Are they?
Yo,
Shut up.
Be normal
Get CJ
challenge.
out of here, man. He
impossible.
said something really sus in the chat. I'm not too happy about
Yeah.
it. We're gonna have a talk.
Listen,
Me and
let's
you,
just
CJ.
say some jokes.
I'm
I'm
gonna
reporting you to
talk
We,
HR.
to
need
CJ.
to, we need to put CJ on the naughty step. That's what we need.
Listen, you said I was bad
Yeah.
during fireside chats. Listen to this.
CJ, you better sleep with one eye open.
Listen,
You're done.
Gormo, I didn't
You're
think you
done.
did. I didn't think you were that
You
bad
do
during
not want
Fireside.
to. You do not want to mess with Drew anymore because Pooflet is now going to be that barrier. And if you do anything to Drew, Pooflet
I mean,
will
look how
give you a
big
punch.
this guy
I'm
is.
gonna drop down from the sky like Big Ghoul, alright?
Yo,
What?
Poofle, when are
Don't
we
mess
doing a
with
rap
Drew
battle
anymore, guys.
in DS?
Don't mess with
I'm
him
not
anymore.
afraid of
I'm too
Pooflet.
I'm too tired for rap battle.
I'm
We
too
should do a
stupid
rap
to be
battle.
afraid
That's a
of
good
No,
question.
come on.
Yeah,
come
you're not
on.
afraid of
time,
movement,
not
all
now.
right? Yeah,
I'm too
sure.
stupid to be
Okay,
afraid
okay.
of him.
He's the silverback gorilla.
We could do a rap battles at some point.
It's like me
That's
walking to
really-
like a bear cage and getting mauled to death. Like I don't care.
That was kind
Hey,
of
I hope someone's taking our photo for this, by the way. This
Yeah.
is good.
Oh, should I speak about my plan of Eric
No.
tanking everyone on the server?
Wait, huh?
All right.
Yeah.
Huh?
Alright.
I was gonna
Okay,
Eric
Thank
we're
you,
good.
thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank
So,
you.
Xerxes, are we mostly right now?
Are you gonna?
Are we
announce that
mostly
then?
ready now?
Thanks for your questions. Thank you for showing up.
I
And
thought
thank
we
you
were
for the
gonna, I
discussion.
thought we were
And
going
of
to do like
course,
a quick like stress test on like
keep
the-
giving
Okay.
us
Yeah,
your
just to
feedback
make
like
sure
game mode.
everything-